Okay, it is the 5 o'clock hour, and I'm going to go ahead and start this meeting. I'm Mayor Pro Tem Laura Betancourt, and I'm going to be filling in, chairing the meeting tonight. So bear with me, it's been a minute or two since I've done this. So if I could please call for a roll call for
Mayor
tonight.
Pro Tem Betancourt,
Here.
Council Members Bishop,
Here.
Loa,
I'm here. I'd like to make a very quick statement. And that statement is that I received information that the action taken on July the 1st was to be rescinded. And if it was to be rescinded, that it was wrong and incorrect from the beginning. And therefore, the action that was taken against me should not have happened. To this moment, I have not been told what it is that I'm being investigated for, what the accusations are, which would be one of the bases under the Brown Act.
Point of
to
order,
let
we're
me
just
know.
taking roll call so we can get the meeting started.
I'm going to make my statement.
But with the
and
meeting
that-
hasn't
I'm
been
going to
called
make
to
my
order.
statement. I have not been, well, I'll save that for another time, but, so briefly, in order to have passed something under an emergency basis, there had to be some really calamitous event, or if it's based on some kind of accusation against me, then the code requires that I had been given a 24-hour notice of what it is that I'm being investigated for. None of that has happened. No emergency has been declared appropriately, other than a blanket statement that an emergency happens. I don't know what that emergency was that's lasted 2 weeks to, again, undergo the same thing. If it's based on some kind of accusation against me, then I have not received a 24-hour notice. And I am here, Madam Clerk. Thank you.
Point of order, roll call had not been completed, so a quorum had not yet been established.
Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian.
Councilmember Olson,
I'm here.
and Councilmember Alarcon.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. And now, if we could please do the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. And in tonight's moment of silence, if we could also please keep in mind the victims of the Texas floods, that would be a great thing. Thank you so much. Eric?
Yes, please. Everybody place your right hand over your heart and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay, so we're moving into public comments. If you could please read the, actually, I guess I have to ask for items to be pulled, City Manager?
Mayor Pro Tem, there are no items to pull.
Okay, great, thank you. So City Clerk, if you could please play the public comment code of conduct and call for public comments on the closed session.
Mayor Pro Tem, if we can have the cute critter first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we could play the cute critter video. Absolutely, I apologize.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. And now we can go ahead and play the public comments video, audio.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I please have your attention? The meeting of the Palmdale City Council is now in order. A code of conduct will now be read, and we request that you comply with it to ensure the efficient administration of the meeting. Members of the public, it is your right to participate in today's City Council meeting, and the Council encourages such participation. However, the right of the public to address the council must be balanced with the need to ensure that public comment does not interfere with the orderly course of the council's business. All are reminded to abide by the following rules. Speakers must cease speaking immediately when their time has ended. Public comment on agenda items must relate to the subject matter of that item. General public comment is limited to subjects within the jurisdiction of the council. Public comment does not include the right to engage in a dialogue with council members or staff. Please remain respectful of the forum and refrain from uttering, writing, or displaying profane, personal, threatening, derogatory, demeaning, or other abusive statements towards the council, any member thereof, staff, or any other person. Members of the audience should be respectful of the views expressed by speakers, staff, and council members and may not excessively clap, cheer, whistle, or otherwise disrupt the orderly conduct of the meeting. Any person engaging in conduct that disrupts the meeting is subject to being removed from the council meeting. Finally, if you witness conduct or behavior by other members of the public that disrupts your ability to remain engaged or participate in this meeting, please notify city staff. Thank you for your cooperation.
Now is the time for public comments on the closed session. I currently have no speaker cards, Mayor and Council, for item 5.1.
Is that a 5.1 that just came in?
No.
No? Okay. So there's no public comments on 5.1?
Looks like there probably is.
Public comments on closed session occur prior to the closed session. However, yes, there will be a report out after the closed session. But if you would like to make comments, now would be the time.
Come on up. Or actually, sorry, Jason was before you.
You guys have a protocol, but asking us to comment on something when we've been given no information is a little bit absurd. I think when the gentleman asked if we could have a report first, it makes sense. How are we supposed to comment on something when we weren't privy to anything that went on in the meeting?
I just want to concur with what Richard said. My name is Jason Zink. Again, the agenda's messed up. Common sense is just so hard to find in the city of Palmdale at City Hall. We need to hear the things and the allegations and everything before we can comment. I do agree with Richard Loa that he should have known the charges against him. To leave him and the community in the dark is just rude and wrong. This city, the way the actions of this city, I mean, I wouldn't invest $1 in this city if I was an investor. This has become a joke. The 5 of you just doesn't work for our city. We deserve better. We have had unnecessary chaos for the last 2 and 4 years. And it all started when you took the mayor elected at large away. And then when Loa and Bishop conspired to keep their seats and go against the district committee when they only wanted one West Side district, so the Central District would have its own council member, its own representation, not from the West Side. And you guys voted against the district committee. You keep going against the people. You guys have personal agendas. It is not in the best interest of the city of Palmdale or its residents. I demand that we know the allegations against Mr. Loa. It's the right thing to do. We can't sit while you guys do these lawsuits and everything and things go on and on and on and on, and attorney fees go up to millions of dollars when we have third world street potholes, when we have everything around us, missing street signs, everything. This city has been so neglected because of all 5 of your games. You guys created J.J. Murphy. You guys created Rhonda Perez. You guys created this mess. Not anyone else, the 5 of you. We deserve better.
I'm sick, so hopefully I sound okay. Good evening, council members, members of the community. I do have this written down so I don't miss a note. My name is Becky Loa. I'm here to speak on behalf of my family. although this may sound biased because I am his daughter. But my father has served this community for over 2 decades. He has always led with integrity, humility, and a deep commitment to doing what is right, not for recognition, but simply because that's just who he is. And as a family, we have all witnessed the sacrifice that's come with this leadership because of how truly passionate he is about serving and bettering the city residents of Palmdale. And to see his character and decades of service come into question in this way has been deeply disappointing. We believe in fairness and in truth and doing what's right no matter what. And we trust that the truth will prevail, because as you've heard, we don't know what any of these allegations are about. And we ask that this community remember the man that he is and the legacy that he has worked so hard to build. Thank you.
My name is Yul Gavargas, and I'm here on 2 matters that are very of importance to me. Number one is about Mr. Richard Law. May I remind you that Al Capone died in Alcatraz. Mafia died with him. We're not going to have it in Palmdale. If you have anything to say against one another, City of Palmdale residents, they should all know. Let's have it wide in the open. The man has done something wrong. We want to know what he's done wrong. You have no right to go behind the closed door sessions and keep us in the dark. He was our mayor, he is our mayor, and I don't believe that you have any rights to remove him without people of Palmdale have their say-so. So if we're going to have a special elections for our mayoral candidate, that's good with me, and we all going to choose our mayor, but not the 4 other city council member going behind the closed doors. And I want to know, what is this? What is the mafia game? What's so big deal? How many people did he kill or shot, or how many embezzlements have he committed? I want to know that. Another thing I want to quickly say, like the city of Huntington Beach, I want to cooperate with the federal government, with the ICE. City of Palmdale has no right not to cooperate with ICE. You have to cooperate with this law of the land. And if somebody says, Yul, you're a white supremacist, let me remind you, I was born and raised in Iran, and Iran was bombed by Trump just now, recently. But he did it rightfully so for the sake of humanity. City of Palmdale has to cooperate with ICE. I came here legally when I was 21. I waited my turn till I got my green card, then I got my citizenship, then I had secret clearances with our Defense Department, and I was very proud to serve for 20 years there. Everybody else should abide by those laws. You jump over that wall, you got to get your ass kicked back out of here. You don't belong here. Thank you.
Any other speakers on this item? One more, come on up.
My name is Zaira Dominguez. I own a few businesses here in Palmdale and Lancaster. Okay, can you hear me now? All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Zaira Dominguez. I was saying that I own a few businesses here in Palmdale and one in Lancaster. I known Mr. Richard for a few years, and I done business with him. And I can tell you that he is an honest person. He's done things by the book, and as a community, like everybody was saying, we deserve to know what's going on, because I don't think it's not just fair for him, but it's also not fair for us. But yes, Mr. Richard, it's an honest man. That's all he has shown me that he is.
Thank you. All right, if there's no more speakers, we'll go ahead and close public. Oh, I'm sorry, please come up. I may not have filled it out properly. Okay.
So, hi, I'm Chuck Murphy. It's wonderful to see you all. I don't know anything about what's actually happening up here, just like nobody else knows what's happening. But I do have some strong feelings about taking something out of our council meetings and then putting it on Facebook and saying that I'm going to help you understand what's going on here. And Eric, I'm speaking to you. I don't believe you had the right to do what you did on a moral level or Brown Act level, because I know what people were saying, and I know what the conversations were going on and how people were drawing conclusions. And you're a voting member here. And being a voting member here, you cannot be trying to influence the city of Palmdale, even if you want to call it clarification. You never commented back to me. I asked 3 times, clarify, clarify, clarify. Didn't happen. And I want you to also know that I've had your name on our music and kids list for 7 years, and you took it off. It looked very, and you said it was because I didn't ask permission. I apologize for that. I thought you'd want to help the kids. But thank you very much. I hope this does get worked out. But I'd like to do it clean.
Thank you, Chair.
Sorry to fill out a card. My name is Michael Ross, and you know what? To me, the whole mayor thing is ridiculous. My question is, how long do we have to say the right things before you guys listen? We keep saying things, actions that should be taken, ways to alleviate these issues that we're having, frickin' just vetting people, you know, going all the way back to J.J. Murphy. I remember you told me that there was a file that came out about him and his background and all that and went to the 0 file. Nobody bothered to read it. When we were going through Measure AV, and we were saying, look at these groups that you're giving money to. One of them just got busted for throwing spikes under the wheels of ice cars, Churla. And you guys gave them money. You know, I love Palmdale. I love this city, man. And I feel like we spend so much time on this cloak and dagger stuff. We need to get past that, you know? We're human beings. We all deserve dignity and respect. And I think the way that we've handled this doesn't show either for anybody, for the people, for him, or for this body. And the last thing is the Palmdale versus Lancaster argument is getting really old, man. We hear that constantly, how it's Lancaster's messing with Palmdale, and we know that they do. And this is a prime example. You know, if you read in the paper today, I think it was today, the article, you know, half the article about what's going on with Loa was given to Paris to chime in and push his city agenda. You know, and I'm just sick to death of it. I wish that you guys would really seriously take the people seriously in what we say. We had a really long lunch once that we ironed out a lot of stuff on it, and it started off with, you were right. And you're not people to say we told you so, but I'm going to tell you so. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of us coming up and giving you thoughts and ideas, and it feels like this. It just goes nowhere. We get the cloak and dagger behind the rumor stuff. Rob Ford, you guys familiar with Rob Ford, the mayor of Toronto? When he got caught smoking crack, they put it on the news. They let everybody know what was going on. And I don't think it's right that we're not able to know what's going on. And then all this cloak and dagger stuff, all it does is it breeds discontent and mistrust among the people. And I would really love for the people to be able to trust our city government again. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers? All right, with that, we'll go ahead and close public comments. And now we'll have a presentation by the city attorney.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council members. Tonight I have for you number 5.1 for closed session. And at this time, I am going to ask Councilmember Loa to recuse himself due to a conflict.
And what's the basis for my recusal? I have to have some statement as to
So-
what it is that's the basis for me recusing myself.
So the section of laws that you're quoting are from the FPPC, where you do have a right to know your conflict. However, this is under, and I'm just going to quote case law, DeGrassi versus Glendora. There are court rulings on conflicts, and when there is a conflict such as potential litigation, anticipated litigation in this case, you have to recuse yourself. and I would not be doing my job if I did not ask you to recuse yourself.
Well, I'm not going to sit up here and engage in any kind of tussle with you or anybody else. I think what you're doing is absolutely wrong. I protest.
Your objection can be noted for the record,
Well,
of
thank you.
course.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Not yet.
Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and adjourn to closed session, and then we will be right back out. I'm sorry? All right, we are back, and we're going to re-adjourn our meeting, and now we have a presentation by, or actually, an announcement by City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. At the request of Councilmember Loa, the City Council voted 4-0 to agree to waive its privileges and disclose the substance of the allegations and incidents that led Council to adopt its emergency motion on July 1st, 2025. On June 12th, 2025, City Code Enforcement received a complaint regarding a vehicle. On June 25th, 2025, Code Enforcement responded to the address to confirm the violation. Upon arrival, Code Enforcement saw a vehicle matching the complaint description, ran its plates, and learned that it was unregistered since early 2024. Confirming a clear violation of Vehicle Code Section 22651, Code Enforcement initiated the tow and impound of the vehicle in coordination with the LA County Sheriff's Department. While Code Enforcement was performing their duties, a third party appeared at the scene and implied that the mayor was on his way and the car should not be towed. Mayor Loa arrived on the scene and asked why his car was being towed. Code Enforcement informed him that the car was being towed because of the expired registration. Mayor Loa told Code Enforcement that he was going to call the public safety manager because he would hate it if the car was towed. Breaking the chain of command, Mayor Loa called the public safety manager. Out of fear of upsetting the mayor and retaliation, the public safety manager canceled the tow. Immediately after the incident, the public safety manager informed the city manager pro tem of what had occurred. The incident was substantially corroborated by records from Code Enforcement, LA Sheriff's Department, and the DMV. The city manager pro tem called Mayor Loa and requested he not interfere with the performance of duties of staff. Mayor Loa ignored the request and continued to contact the public safety manager over the next few days. This incident violates numerous laws, including but not limited to Penal Code 424, misappropriation of public funds and resources, Penal Code 148, obstruction of a public officer, Government Code 53243.4, abuse of office, and the common law doctrine of abuse of power. In addition, this conduct also violates the city charter and the Palmdale Municipal Code Section 2.04090, ordering subordinates of the city manager, and Council Code of Conduct Resolution 2023-052, which prohibits city council members from unilaterally directing action to staff. The matter was brought before the city council to determine if litigation needs to be filed to address and prevent future action. During the closed session, additional incidents were identified that would show a pattern of improper conduct, and there was a need to immediately act to prevent future such actions. In addition, a former employee has filed a recent lawsuit, specifically asserting misconduct, retaliation, and creation of a hostile work environment by Mayor Loa. The City Council requested Mayor Loa speak with them to address these issues. He declined. The City Council decided litigation was not the preferred action at that time, but there was an immediate need to act to prevent further improper actions. Because of this, Councilmember Alarcon introduced a motion to remove Mayor Loa from his position as mayor and from his committees pending an investigation. The rest of council concurred. This statement is intended to clarify the truth amid the sensational claims being spread. An investigation is being conducted into the additional allegations, including but not limited to 1. Use of city staff and resources for personal litigation. 2. Misappropriation of public funds related to the MARC facility. 3. Participation in official votes and interfering with city business where he has a personal financial interest. And 4. Election interference in the 2024 election cycle. Councilmember Loa still remains on this council and retains full and equal voting rights to make decisions. City is working with all appropriate authorities in the furtherance of these investigations.
Thank you. All right, now we're moving on to item number 7, which is the, I'm sorry. I think we're going to get to that. Just you have to hang in there. Rescission and readoption of motion to remove mayor, item number 7.1. I think we have a staff
Yes,
report for that. And then we're getting to the public comments, just 2 more.
All right.
I'm making a full denial of all of the things that you have alleged against me, and, but I will make no further comment at this time.
So for the next item is the rescission and readoption of the motion to remove mayor. The recommendation is to rescind and readopt the City Council's emergency motion from July 1st, 2025 meeting to initiate an investigation into confidential allegations of Councilmember Loa and remove him from the title of mayor and all committees and city assignments during the pendency of the investigation. So, as we've been discussing, on July 1st, 2025, there was an emergency motion to investigate these allegations and remove the title of mayor and all committee assignments during the pendency of the investigation. On July 8th, the City Council received a letter from Councilmember Loa complaining of a Brown Act violation and requesting the City Council cure and correct the alleged violation. While the City Council acted properly, in an abundance of caution and at the request of Councilmember Loa, it is recommended that City Council rescind and readopt its motion.
Thank you for that report. And now the next thing is to call for public comments.
We have Rich Gallego.
So, as Clerk just mentioned, my name is Rich Gallego. I'm from the Palmdale Freedom Coalition. I'm going to have to change what I was about to say because you've just given us what we were asking for. Thank you for that. But I do want to say this, and I've said this to a few of the council members recently. My concern isn't so much for any particular individual. My concern is for the process and to make sure that it is always done in compliance with all applicable laws in the U.S. Constitution, to make sure it is done as transparently as is legally possible, and that the decisions that you guys make are made without concern for your own political or personal agendas. I'm not going to speak to facts that I don't know about. I am going to say this. Optics matter, and that this is dragged on as long as it has, and that it started with a vote on an ordinance giving you the power to do what you've just done. What was that, 6 weeks ago, something like that? It looks really bad. In my position as leader of the Freedom Coalition, I get contacted by emails and text messages and all kinds of different routes. And I've had so many people in Palmdale complain to me because they don't know what's going on. All they see is that the council doesn't look like they know what they're doing. Now, you may have had the best intentions on keeping things private so as not to embarrass somebody, or I don't know. I'm not going to speak to your motives. I just want you to understand the optics here. When the people that you are supposed to be serving don't have any confidence in your ability to do so, it's not a good situation. And you all know we've had plenty of lawsuits. You know, somebody brings a gun to work and gets fired and ends up walking away with millions of dollars of the taxpayer money. That looks ridiculous to the people paying it. And then we're told that we're such generous taxpayers. Well, that wasn't something we wanted to pay. And now we've got other lawsuits going on because somebody that you guys hired, even though we told you it was a bad idea, we're thinking of making hats or shirts that say PFC was right again, because we've always been right when we come up and talk to you about these things. A series of bad decisions that leads to bad results. You guys have got to get your act together, all right? Again, I'm not questioning your motives. I don't think any of you get up in the morning and think, how can we screw the people of Palmdale? But it's not looking good. And if you think that people don't want to elect their own mayor, you haven't been reading anything on social media. AV News Crew put something up the other day, and I have my issues with them normally, but they put a simple question up. Do you think that people should be able to vote for their own mayor? The last time I looked, there was like 65 responses. Every single one of them said, yes, we need to vote for our own mayor. Do the right thing and return that to the people. And we're going to keep fighting you on that, by the way, in case you're wondering about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker?
Hugo Vargas.
Over a license plate that was expired, and Mr. Lowe was talking about it, and you asked for his recall. Next town over here, our mayor said, give all the homeless people all the fentanyl. Okay? And Mr. Lowe complained about a license plate, and for that you recall. By the way, Miss Andrea Alarcon calls in for this, and she was arrested for DUI. Also, she's stripped now from her law license. She's not allowed to practice law anymore, and she's the one complaining about Mr. Loa. If there's a joke, right here, you're looking at it.
Jason Zink. Jason Zink.
I want to thank Palmdale Freedom Coalition for always standing for what's right. So thank you guys. And the gentleman's right. The 5 of you are a joke. You did this over registration. So you put in jeopardy tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars of investment to come to Palmdale. People don't even know Palmdale. You know what they know him about? Being a joke. That's what you guys did? Alarcon, didn't you have a problem with your registration? And a DUI. Eric, where did you get $5 grand to give to a state assembly member that's running for office?
For my campaign account.
Oh, you didn't have no money when you ran for city council. All of a sudden you got $5 grand to pass out?
Don't engage.
Corruption. Dishonor. The first sin you guys committed, Judge Money, who did the district lawsuit, ordered 4 districts and the mayor would be elected at large. The 5 of you took it among yourselves to take the vote away from the people because you wanted to get rid of Hoffbauer because you couldn't win against him. And then you did that. The second sin was when you and Loa and Austin voted to keep your guys' seat. Austin, you only won by 55 votes, and you were the mayor? All that name recognition and everything? That's pretty sad, brother. You're a disgrace. You should 2 terms and you're out. You have so much conflict of interest with everything. You shouldn't be in office representing the people of Palmdale. I don't even understand what's going on here. This is like the Twilight Zone. For 4 years, Betancourt, what's going on here? You are a senior member, and you allowed something like this to happen and put us in the dark for 2 weeks? I'm deeply ashamed. All 5 of you need to figure out how you're going to resign, how we're going to have a new election, how we're going to have an at-large mayor elected, and ask the Planning Commission to draw 4 new districts with a census data consultant. You guys are done. You guys are over with. I don't want to see you guys. Wait until the community finds out what you allowed CAL FIRE to do. Made all of Palmdale an at-risk fire district, which means they're going to lose their insurance and rates are going to triple. And you guys allowed CAL FIRE to do that. You guys will be run out of this place as soon as those homeowners find out.
Next speaker?
There are no further speaker cards on this section.
My name's Michael Ross. I think the hypocrisy is unbelievable to me. The stuff that we've been dealing with since Ms. Alarcon's election, all the stuff that we've had complaints, and I won't break confidence, but the behind-the-scenes stuff is ridiculous, you guys. And I'm going to look to you because we knew that when she was elected, there was all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Taxes not paid, car not being up to registration. We even pointed it out to the sheriffs, and they didn't want to get involved with it because they didn't want the hassle of it, which I can totally understand. Because of all the heat that was going on with our city at the time, because of her election, and all the strife that was going on because of the Measure AV boondoggle. I think it's time for you guys to take a real deep look, man, and really consider what you're doing on the city council. This should have never gotten to this level, absolutely not. I get why he would do what he did. You know, what father wouldn't do that? I'm not giving you excuses. You shouldn't have done that. You should let the city do what it's supposed to do and deal with it. The rest of us would have to deal with that. So that wasn't right either. I'm asking for you to stand up and have integrity. Integrity, man. Stop the backroom stuff. If you've done something wrong, admit it and move forward with it. I run a business. I have employees. When they do something wrong, we fix it and we move forward. And it would never get to this level. What you've done now over a registration and the hypocrisy that is showing us right now, I just got to say, I think you've stepped into a big pile, and it's going to come back to bite you. And I actually like you guys a lot. I do. We've had our disagreements. Mr. Lowe and I, we've shouted at one another over things. That's okay. That's politics. But when you start getting personal like this, where I think that there's an agenda going on deeper than just a parking, a registration deal, there's something going on behind this, and it's going to be found out, and somebody's going to get in trouble for it. And I'll tell you one thing about PFC is, you know, we're like pit bulls, man. We do not give up. We're not going to give up on our city, and we're not going to give up on getting a city council of people that will hold the highest level of integrity in the office that we can respect again. The fight's on.
Thank you. Next speaker? Anyone else? All right, not seeing any other speakers, we'll go ahead and close public comments.
All right, well, in the absence of council discussion, I will move to rescind and readopt the city council's motion of July 1st, which is a three-pronged motion: one, to initiate and to continue the investigation of Mr. Loa's actions; two, to remove Mr. Loa from his ceremonial title of mayor; and three, to remove Mr. Loa from all seats and city assignments where he represents the city on those boards.
Do we have a second to that motion?
There's no second.
I'll second it.
We can call for the vote.
Well, hold on a second. I suppose I have a conflict here? Is what
Yes,
you-
correct. Yes, you do have a
Turn the mic is
conflict
on.
in voting to investigate yourself, so I would recommend that you recuse yourself from this vote.
By recusing myself, I am not admitting to anything that's been alleged against me.
Start voting. Motion passes.
All right, moving on to.
Oh, actually, I'd like to make a further motion that we add to, we garner consensus amongst this council to add to our future agenda the appointment of representatives to serve and fill in the vacancies where Mr. Loa was previously serving. That we have received a variety of commentary from feedback and from all the committees, the AQMD, NCTC, and a variety of other entities that want certainty in terms of authority to fill those vacancies and who can act on behalf of the city. The city needs to be able to continue to conduct its business during the pendency of this investigation. So I'd like to request that as a future action at our future council meeting, that we agendize the appointment to fill those vacancies during the pendency of the investigation.
I'll second that motion.
Vote, voice vote, please.
Voice vote.
Voice vote, please.
That subject matter has not been agendized. There's no real reason why that should be placed on the agenda at this time. It can be properly agendized at a future meeting.
No,
There's need for
that's
that
the
to be done.
motion to do it at another meeting, not this meeting. It's a
Well,
motion
even that motion
to
is out of order.
agendize. Well, she can make a motion to add it to the future agenda. And if you, I guess, if you don't want to do it here, we could wait till the end for council member.
Request for future
Yeah.
items.
Look, I'd be
Do it at
happy
the
to do it at the end
Yeah,
of the
we'll
at the
do it at
meeting,
the
but
end.
it is germane to the matter at hand, which is the removal of youth served from your committees and your city assignments. So it's germane to the matter that has been properly agendized here. If the council would prefer that I do it at the end of the agenda, I'd be happy to do it then as well.
Yeah, let's do it at the end of the agenda. Okay. So moving on to item number 8, consent calendar. So we'll have call for public comments on the consent calendar. Do we have any speaker cards?
Yes, we have Jason Zink on item 8.4.
Twilight Zone. Betancourt, you despised Alarcon for her misrepresenting the city, going down in LA, acting like she represents Palmdale. That is a way huge, bigger charge than card registration. I don't get it. I'm bringing up Avenue R, complete project, from 25th Street East to Sierra Highway. $10 million project. You guys are voting to accept that it's complete. But yet, if you go on 12th Street East and 13th Street East, there is no street sign. I have for 90 days let you guys know that there are no street signs there. The driveways connecting to the sidewalk, going into the street, they're not paved. So all the dirt from those lots will wash into the street. Not one street tree was planted. Out of $10 million, we live in a high heat area, high heat zone by the state, and didn't plant one tree for people walking on the sidewalk. What an ugly city, huh? Without no trees for beautification. And you guys think you guys are doing a good job as city council members? The tow truck pulls into the driveway to pull his truck in there, and his ass sticks out. Ass end of his tow truck sticks out and stops Avenue R traffic from going because the city didn't move the gate further away from the road. This is so incompetent. Like a layman would know all this stuff is wrong. All this, you guys didn't even fix any of the any of the fences along any of those houses. So it still looks ghetto. You guys are so dysfunctional. You guys bring such low standards. And you guys want us to praise you and say, you guys are great. You guys suck. And guess what? This staff has let you down. But guess what? You're in charge of the staff. You are low-class people, low-standard people. We deserve better. The people of Palmdale deserve better. The 5 of you need to get out of Palmdale. Just get out, retire, go somewhere. I don't want to see you guys' face on the street.
No further speaker cards on this section.
Any last chance for speakers? Seeing none, we'll be closing public comments for the consent calendar. Does any of the council want to pull an item?
If there are no members who would like to pull an item, I'd be happy to move the entirety of the consent calendar.
I would actually like to pull 8.3.
You do? 8-3. Got it?
I'll make a second for the balance of the consent calendar.
Okay, let's call for the vote for the remainder of the consent calendar.
Start voting. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. So I pulled 8.3 just to let the public know that the reason that we are buying more streetlight poles is because we have to keep a certain amount on hand for when people crash into them and knock them down. I know that sounds odd, but we lose quite a few poles every year, and we can't have some of these streets with no lights on them, so we have to have backup street lights to put in place after somebody knocks one out. So I just want to be clear as to why we had that on the agenda, and we're trying to make sure that we have regular maintenance for the safety of our residents. That's all I had to say on that.
And then just to dovetail off of that, so that the listening public is also aware, in the past year, we replaced 65 streetlights, and this is to sort of make sure that our inventory is still full. But many of those streetlights were damaged or knocked down because of some reckless driving or some accident, some vehicular accident. We also, through the city attorney's leadership, seek to recover restitution for a lot of those damaged and knocked down street poles. So in the case that we're not just acquiring them and absorbing full costs, we are also seeking restitution for those who have damaged our city property.
Thank you. All right, can I have a motion to adopt that item?
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, can we call for the vote?
Start voting. Motion passes unanimously.
All right, moving on to item number 9.1. Resolution of the City Council approving the final city logo and brand identity developed by the Hub Collective. Staff, come up and give us your report.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. I'm Stella Devine Knight, Communications Manager for the city. Tonight, I'm here to introduce item 9.1, a resolution to adopt the city's final logo and brand identity, developed in collaboration with Hub Collective. This branding effort has been thoughtful and community-centered, and we're excited to share the results with you. To walk you through the process and present the new system, I'd like to invite up Jen Gibbard and Brian Buenacosa Brooks from Hub Collective.
Hello.
Good evening, Council. As Stella said, we are Brian
And I'm Jen.
from Hub Collective. We are a branding and strategy agency, and we've been working with a team of city staff over the last several months to develop a new brand.
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. We forgot to do public comments on new business. City manager just informed me. Do you want to do it
But this is
after?
new business, and I wanted the public to see the presentation first.
Okay, let's do that. Sorry about that.
So carry on.
Okay. We've been working with a group of city staff over the last several months to develop a new brand system for the city. And when we started this project, what we were really tasked to fulfill with this new brand was something that instills confidence in the city as a trusted service provider, inspires pride and place for the local community and beyond, builds a unique identity that differentiates Palmdale from its neighbors, creates a communication plan and strategy that outlines how to use the brand system, and make sure that it's a system that is easy to use for the staff. And we want to emphasize that as we're thinking about a brand system, one of the primary things that includes is a logo, but the logo is only part of that. We're thinking about colors, fonts, textures, illustrations, compositions that can create a really robust toolkit that the city communications team and all of staff can use to create a cohesive and consistent expression of the city through visuals and through messaging as well. This way, okay. I'll go back here really quickly and just sort of very quickly talk about some of the stuff we've done to get to this point. We came out here in early December of 2024 to visit because we are not from Palmdale. That allows us to see things with fresh eyes, to hear everyone's opinions and ideas about the city without any sort of preconceived notion of what needs to match from our personal lived experience. And so we came and visited the city ourselves. We took a tour to see all aspects of the city. We had meetings with a variety of different public groups because we wanted to make sure we had a wide representation of the people who lived here. So we met with
Palmdale Saves.
Yes.
We met with the senior center. We spent an afternoon there playing games and talking to people. We met with the team at Teen Advisory Council. We went to Jolly Holiday. And we also met with one other group.
We met with the Visit Palmdale board, and that also included one of the board members there used to work at Plant 42, so we had a really great exciting information session with her about the aerospace industry here.
In addition to that, we met with the city department leadership and we met with many of the city council members as well to get familiar with the city and how you guys see it currently and what the growth trajectory is for it.
Yeah, and from that engagement, we were able to hear and understand what people's perceptions of the city were, what sort of common images, emotions, attributes people associate with Palmdale, and those were the foundation that we worked from to build the brand system that we have as our options to look at today. So those include messaging taglines. So with staff, we worked through a variety of iterations on these and have come down to 3 options that we then sent out to staff and the public for their comment through a survey. And so those 3 options were community innovation opportunity, it all happens here or where it all happens, and everything in the palm of your hand. And the results of the surveys we got from that were community innovation opportunity being the preference there, both for staff and community, in about consistent numbers. When it comes to the visual explorations, again, we're thinking about a brand system, so that includes a logo, but we also want to think about how can this brand be used on a variety of pieces of information. And so we have done a variety of explorations through 3 different unique systems. So we'll need to choose one of these. These are not all to be used, but we have option 1, a monogram that uses the P as that primary symbol. That is a commonly used symbol for logos. It has a bright color palette that balances out some of the natural colors, but also some of the beautiful colors of sunsets that are here in Palmdale. And there are a few small and subtle nods to the aerospace industry with some of the elements within the P resembling a fighter jet in an abstract way. Option number 2, forward motion, is trying to distill down the essence of a vision for Palmdale that is united in itself and moving in the same direction. How can we do that in as simple a way as possible? We have those 3 arrows moving in a forward direction together. And then option 3, the open landscape. One thing we heard really consistently from everyone that we talked with is that when they think about Palmdale, they do think about that high desert landscape. They think about the vast open spaces, the wide valley floor framed by the mountains around it, the beautiful sunsets, the starry skies, the Joshua trees that are found here. That was an enduring image of what it means to be in Palmdale. And so we wanted to evoke that idea and concept, but we also wanted to speak to the idea of the openness being an invitation. There's so much room for people to make a home here, to develop a business here, to recreate here. We wanted that to come through as well. And when we shared this, the open landscape was the overwhelming favorite for both staff and the community as well, with over 60% of the vote saying, agreeing or strongly agreeing that this represented the spirit of Palmdale. So we come to you tonight with a recommendation to move forward with community innovation and opportunity as the city's official tagline, and with the open landscape as the brand system that we would then build out a guideline set and a robust kit of parts for staff to begin to use. All right, that's what we have for you.
Thank you very much. I know that we're supposed to call for an adoption of the resolution, but that's finalizing the logo, and I don't know that we are at that point right now to finalize that logo. Can we have some public comment on this first?
Yes, we do have public comments here. Mayor Pro Tem and Council. We have Jason Zink. Jason
Do you want us
Zink.
to sit down?
Yeah, you guys can sit down, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Jason Zink is going to be speaking on 2 items in that section, 9.1 and 9.2.
Had to fill out a lot of cards because,
He'll be speaking
Okay.
for.
yeah, because you guys don't know how to run a city, so I have to help you. Like the city attorney didn't know that public comment comes after the staff gives a report. It's just mind-blowing, mind-boggling. Twilight Zone. The logo that you guys are wanting to approve looks like something from New Mexico. It doesn't look like something from Southern California. It doesn't look fun and hip and awesome. What's the lifeblood of Antelope Valley, and what has it been? What would happen if it went away? Palmdale and Antelope Valley would collapse. And that is aerospace. So why wasn't that put in the logo? Our old logo looks very prestigious, I have to say. I thought it should have had a swoosh and a little jet plane in the blue part in the sky. It looks like something like for a school district or something, not something for a prestigious, cutting-edge aerospace city, which is the future. You know, we're the last frontier of LA County. We're the new California for the affordable middle class. That logo that you want to approve today does not say anything where I'd want to invest $1 in. We deserve better. I don't know what you guys are thinking or why you even think you need to change the logo, but I guess you like spending money on silly things.
No further speaker cards on this section.
Good evening. So first and foremost, how many of you are here from Palmdale? Raise your hand if you live here in Palmdale. The fact that you guys outsourced this project to people who don't live in this community, which I know for a fact we have companies in this community that could have created this. They would not have had to sit for an hour. No offense to you guys, I apologize. Would have not had to sit with this person for an hour or this person for an hour. They have their finger on the pulse of this community. And they would have come up with something that represents this community. I moved here when I was in 4th grade. I moved here because my dad retired from the Air Force from McClellan Air Force Base in Sacramento. And we moved here because my dad worked for Lockheed. We fought amongst ourselves. My dad's plane flew. He was the F-117. My friend's plane didn't fly, the B-2 at the time. We are this community. Why would you ask somebody else to try and brand this community? I have an issue with that. That doesn't represent anything from this community. It doesn't represent the high schools that are here, the elementary schools, the middle schools, the economic aspect of this community, the family aspect of this community. We are small, but we are great. And why would you bring an outside company to brand something that does not represent us? You guys should rethink that. Thank you.
So it's Michael Ross again. I did marketing just like that for many years, and I know you've got a background in it too. No offense against your work, it's fine work, but one of the first rules of marketing is you decide what it is that sets you aside from all your other competitors. And out here, the number one thing that we have is the Joshua tree. And I do like the Joshua tree aspect. I don't think it represents it very well. I agree with you. I don't think that you're ready to vote on any of those yet. But I would ask that you put together a committee separate of, I was a part of the thing years ago called the Village Square that Ann Ambrose put on. There were 30 of us that got together and we read different articles and things about the city and talked about how we wanted our city represented. And I will tell you, the number one thing that everybody locked in on was the idea of the Joshua tree and really using that. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but there are companies, I'm sure you are in the film industry, there are companies that come from all over the world to come and shoot music videos with the Joshua trees in the background. That makes us very hip and cool. K-pop is using our tracks and the Joshua tree. So I would just suggest you look more toward that.
Thank you. Any other speakers? All right, we'll be closing public comment. Now, could we have some council discussion on this?
I'll jump in.
Jump on in there.
Okay, so a lot of the comments that we received here today are very similar, if not exactly the same, of what was discussed in my briefing last week about the logo. I remember even some of the people who commented talked about, what's this? What's this right here? A couple years ago, we discussed what this was, and nobody knew what it was, and it was the yucca plant.
Yeah, most people think it's a corn cob and a wave,
Yeah.
which it is not.
So I was very passionate about, with some of the discussions we had, and we're not set yet, is maybe putting the Joshua tree inside this logo and updating it. But then we discussed about maybe a new brand altogether. So we were leaning towards that third logo you saw with the Joshua tree, but I wasn't crazy about the Joshua tree. It was a little abstract, and then the angles were weird. And we actually talked about having the B-2 bomber and the Joshua tree with the hillside in there. So I'm not totally sold on any of those logos. That's what I discussed with the branding company. I think that third one, with the right revisions and the right edits, it could be there. It could be close. It could give us a new brand. But I think the new logo and rebranding was brought upon a few meetings where people came and they said they didn't understand exactly what the logo was. I'm still a huge fan of it. If you see me, I don't leave the community without this pin. And I think it's still a very nice looking logo. But every now and then it's important to refresh and update. And I was very passionate about getting something with the Joshua tree and something that represented aerospace and the skyline in the Antelope Valley. And that was the direction I gave the Hub Collective. And I'm not ready to approve anything tonight, but I think maybe with that third logo that had positive response from the community, I think maybe we could get there.
So I just want to apologize to you again. I was brutal during our closed session, but it matters deeply to us because that's one of the reasons that we have postponed buying the new street signs, because they will have our logo on it when we get to that, plus business cards and letterheads and wraps, that type of thing. So it has to be right. I think the last time we did this was over 20 years ago? 2002? So what we pick for this matters because it's going to be here for maybe a quarter of a century. Who knows? So I want to apologize. I wasn't criticizing anybody personally. I just really, it needs work. So we just need to keep working.
Yeah, so I just want to echo my colleagues' remarks. I too had some sort of, I think, pretty terse conversation with our consultants about my expectations of what this project and this endeavor was going to include. I was specifically concerned with what I saw as a lack of tapping into our local talent. Specifically, our high school talent. We've got a lot of graphic artists locally. Our high school kids, we've got some student organizations and some teachers and some local folks at in our community colleges and just in our entire Antelope Valley that we could tap into that we have not. I used as the reference our Measure AV utility box wrap effort. So we had a couple, I think we had like 6 or 7 different pieces of art that we then wrapped all of the utility boxes with, but we selected those as a city, and we didn't get feedback from our residents, and we didn't sort of invite their ideas, their art into what we then put out into the city. And so in our second round, we initiated art contests, and we selected some local elementary school kids' artwork to then be put onto those wraps. And we got a lot more positive feedback because we utilized the talent of our local folks here. So what I was hoping to do, and I think we're all sort of on the same page that we're not quite there yet, but what I was hoping to do is, as we direct our partner here moving forward, is that we ask for input and for actual designs from the community, from our high school talent, from our community college students, and from all of the local graphic artists that are out there, and including marketing talent, because there's also a tagline on there, and so we might want some feedback there. Rather than us giving you guys 3 options and say pick one of the 3, I would like to see what the community comes up with, and you know, we're all fairly innovative, and I think we're going to be blown away if we open up the doors of opportunity for you all to give us your ideas in terms of the art and the tagline that we propose to use for the city. So maybe we move forward and we do implement a high school student art contest, or a local, some sort of incentive program, or other way to invite people to submit their artwork in. I think that we should try to incorporate that kind of responsive communication, as opposed to us just sort of stuffing it down everybody's throat. I think what we hear all the time is that you guys want to be participant in the development of the process, not just voting on 1, 2, or 3. So I would hope that you guys hear that feedback, and as we move forward in the next couple of months, that we sort of develop some sort of means by which we can bring in the ideas from our community.
I'd like to ask a question, and I don't know who's going to respond to it, maybe Mr. Mendez. How much have we spent so far in the development of this new identity?
So the agreement was executed for $100,000, and we are near 80,000.
$100,000, okay.
Correct.
And we're proposing to spend an additional $500,000 to implement it?
That is money that was approved through the
Sorry, what?
budget. That was money, the $500,000 that you're referring to was approved through the budget process. As this, if it were to be approved, that would be money that would be allocated towards updating assets as they needed.
That's what I'm saying. So we spent $100,000 so far to develop it,
Correct.
and then $500,000 more to implement it, right?
That's what's
already
been approved in the
okay.
budget.
So
So-
that would, I'm sorry, go ahead. I
Yeah,
apologize.
thank you. Well, to me, the Joshua Tree looks kind of like, spurs on a horse type of thing, There are many cities, counties, states, and even the United States of America and nations around the world adopt a symbol for themselves that has enduring value. They don't go changing it every 25 years, right? And this logo replaced a logo that existed before that one that I thought back at the time was pretty good. And then this one, I think, I do agree with Mr. Bishop that this does have, the logo that we have currently is something that is enduring and has been the symbol of Palmdale for many years.
Correct, sir.
And so we've gone and spent all this money and consulted with a couple of hundred people and did a survey that was very limited. And we've come up with this that seems like no one's in agreement with what's been presented. It almost seems like it's been a waste of money, right? So sometimes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Might apply here. And so I'm not prepared to accept this. The other point that I'm making is all of this presentation that was given up here is not in our staff report. That wasn't available for any of us to look at. All the different
Correct.
things and the different polls and what have you. Why not?
That was the vendor's presentation as far as their findings. The staff report has the final, what the recommended final logo and tagline would be that would match the resolution that was proposed for adoption.
Okay. But it would have been nice to have this information before tonight so we could have a more intelligent view and basis to make a decision. But anyway, thank you so much for your comments.
Thank you.
And just of note, the presentation was presented in our briefings.
Okay.
Me now?
Your turn?
I think we need to get our trains on the tracks before we paint them. We have a lot to do in this city, and it bothers me that this has to take up time in what we're doing because there's so many more important things, I believe. 500,000 is what we allocated in the budget. I believe the implementation is going to be a whole lot more to replace all the street signs, everything that's gone up. And I'm not too keen on wanting to take on that financial investment at this moment in Palmdale's history. I think we have a lot of other things to do to get right. Then let's take a look at this. But we've already got this contract. I think the money probably would have been better spent explaining to people what that symbol is and the current logo that we have. It's a yucca palm. It's the growth that happens before the Joshua tree. And that's where we're at. We're the growth that's happening now before we get that tree. I think Palmdale's in a great spot. Good things are coming.
let's brand then. Let's just go get those good things first. I don't like this. I think the logos missed the mark. I'm sorry. A lot of work to do to get me to support any of this because I agree with Councilmember Lowe, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
May I have a quick suggestion real quick? If we don't have the buy-in and, you know, we want to make a subtle change, one of my ideas I was pushing for a very long time was to put to replace the yucca with the Joshua tree, and it would be a very smooth transition for the city that might not cost a whole lot. It's a subtle change. Because we've had people in the community tell us, including some of the people who commented tonight, they don't know what's inside the logo. So I think that's where this idea came from, and so.
So can
That's
I
all.
just ask a city manager to just sort of outline for us exactly where we are in the process in terms of the contract? I believe it expires in September, and how much, you know, there is in the balance of what's been appropriated for that contract. If we choose, do we have the option to either extend or to terminate the contract? What are our options?
It depends. There's about $20,000 left in the contract right now as we speak. We can always extend the contract beyond the date, but an additional allocation would be needed depending on how much change you would want or how much additional outreach you would need. We may require an additional allocation to that, an amendment to the contract.
So can I ask a question? So this was put out with an RFP,
Correct.
and so they're the ones that came in with the best price from,
Were there any local applicants that bid?
none?
Nobody knew to do it. Yeah, exactly. I know of a graphic designer firsthand, they probably would have jumped on this opportunity to do this, who lives here. A lot.
We were never even told that there was gonna be this discussion.
I also know one also.
Okay, so I guess we're going to, you want to table the item? You want to vote on the item?
No, I'll make a motion to table.
Second.
Let's call for the vote.
Well, we can table it, but we've got to give, I think it's incumbent upon us to give direction to our city manager on what we're going to do. We're going to let this contract linger? Are we going to invite the public into the to the fold and into the development? Or what are we going to do? Are we going to bring this back, you know, in 2
Madam
weeks?
Chair.
Are we going to give further direction to our consultant to do, what are we going to do? Tabling it, I don't know if that is fair to our city manager. We're just going to let it linger?
Madam Chair, members of the council, what I'm getting here, and for what I'm hearing from the community is, you know, 2 heads are better than 1, 3 heads are better than 2. We have the contract with the current consultant. We can expand on that contract, reach out to schools. We can expand on the third logo, reach out to schools. We can revisit the taglines and include other people in the final decision-making of this process.
So you mean to extend the contract with them and then to bring in other community groups? I guess I'm a little confused.
To either extend the contract or to utilize it till its expiration in September to utilize the balance of the $20,000 that it remains in the appropriation.
We would have to have separate conversations with the contractor and see what we can do with that,
The balance of the,
and get back to you, and we can address this again.
okay, so maybe that be the motion, if I could, just a friendly amendment or suggestion that we request a report back from the city manager, an assessment of the current financial state of the consultant's contract and what within the scope of the remainder of the term that we could do with whatever balance is left and the time. And then we get a report back so we can decide whether or not we want to terminate the contract, move forward, extend it, appropriate more.
The contract conditional on the product.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm good with that motion, and it gives us time to think about this, because I know we're not ready to make any decisions tonight.
Okay, so the motion is for a report back.
Okay, so we're going to request a report back? Okay, let's do
A
that.
report back on assessment of the contract, its scope, time, and money.
So do we have a motion and a second?
One moment. Yes, we do. We have a motion in a
Are
second.
we no further discussion?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Lloyd, did you want to speak
Well,
speak some more?
it just seems to me that this is just going to be an exercise in futility. I mean, it's just not there. And for us to continue, it's not going to take us anywhere. I mean, we've got a suggestion from Councilman Bishop here that seems very logical and probably wouldn't cost very much money. So I'm going to vote no on continuing this matter.
If I could also just ask for, can we get, we don't have a copy of the actual contractor's contract. Can we get an analysis of the termination provisions? What if there, damages provisions, if we terminate early? I just want to know what the ramifications are if we just end the contract right now, what we're getting ourselves into.
I agree with that, because if we are required to pay them that 20,000 because it's contracted, so I would like to know the options to know the answer to that, because if the answer is yes, then maybe
They can.
focus on redesigning the recommended one and coming back with that. Please,
You can't-
please,
no.
there's specific time for that. This is why I second the analysis. We need to have the analysis in the contract so we know what we're talking about.
Okay, I have the motion here, request a report back from the city manager on the contract options.
And we have a second on that first?
Yes, we have a
second?
first and a second.
All right, let's call for the vote.
Start voting, please. Motion passes.
All right. Now we are moving on to item number 9.2. Do we have a staff report on this?
That's me.
Oh, sorry.
Good evening again, Council, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council. So these are the an amendment to the bylaws for the Citizens Advisory Committee. And essentially, right now, with the appointment cycles, all of the appointments expire simultaneously, and you're required to basically appoint the whole board all at the same time. It's not exactly the best practice because it prevents institutional knowledge from retaining on the board. Because you get all new people all at the same time. So this proposed amendment is to stagger the terms of the appointments to this board. And what would occur is that, so this would be the first year to start the staggered appointment cycle. And 4 members shall be, so first off, there are 7 persons appointed to this board with 2 alternates. Please keep in mind that the 2 alternates only come into play if a member resigns. So it's not like our standard boards where you're an alternate and if someone's sick, you can go. It's not like that. They have to resign. And if someone's sick for whatever reason, that spot is vacant. So I just want to be clear that this type of alternate is different than what we're typically colloquially referencing. So starting this year, if this is approved, 4 members will be appointed to serve 2-year terms expiring in June 2027, to be reappointed in odd-numbered years thereafter for a 2-year term. 3 members will be appointed to serve 1-year terms. This is just for this first initial year to get the terms staggered, because right now they all expire at the same time, so you're gonna be reappointing 7 people, but we're gonna stagger their terms with 4 with 2-year terms and 3 with 1-year terms, and then after this year, it goes to the normal, everyone expires every 2 years. And so the 3 members appointed to serving 1-year terms will expire in June 2026, and they will be reappointed in even number years thereafter. Also, there has been some suggestions that in lieu of having 2 alternates, that we could amend the bylaws to provide for 3, and this would give the council at this time the opportunity to appoint 10 people, meaning each person can pick 2 people, because otherwise right now it would be 9. And then 1 person only gets to appoint 1. So if you would like to add a 3rd alternate, I would ask that there's a motion to adopt this resolution with the amendment that there's 3 alternates instead of 2.
I will move that. That was my idea, because I was thinking, how are 5 people going to appoint 9? how's this gonna play down? So my idea was if we add the third alternate, that makes 10 total positions, give us all 2 picks. You know, I know the optic of this is terrible, but stay with me here. I'm not gonna say ping pong balls. But
God,
if 10
please
names,
don't.
if 10 names go into a hat, first 4 out, 2-year term. Next 3, 1-year term, the remaining 3, the alternates. I recommended that because I think that that's the most fair and equitable way. We all get 2 appointments and then leave it up to fate to see how they fill in the board. That's just my suggestion, so I'll make that motion.
And I'd be happy to second it, but I'd also like to add something if possible. I'm all for equity, as we all know, but specific to the Measure AB committee, Council District 5 was not in existence when the original appointments were made, the existing ones as they stand today. There was a subsequent, the year following our election and the first election of a council member in Council District 5. Council District 5 was denied the opportunity to appoint to the Measure AV committee, specifically because in the municipal code and in the ordinances and the resolutions that pertain to the Measure AV committee, there is nothing that specifies that each council district makes those specific appointments. There has, since I've been elected on this office, there has not been an appointment from Council District 5 to the Measure AV Committee, although Council District 5, its constituents, its residents, and my constituents all contribute to the tax base in Measure AV, yet it has no appointed representation on that committee. So what I would like to, in the spirit of equity, ensure that it is codified and this has nothing to do with me specifically, but in the future, for the representative of Council District 5 and all of the council districts to ensure that each council member in each council district has equal representation on the committee, that we codify that in the bylaws, the municipal code, and all relating resolutions.
I feel so awful because there was so much just happening right now that I heard half of what you said. I'm sorry. It's
So
not
I'll
your
just-
fault. There was just a lot happening right then. I don't know if
Okay, I'll
anybody else
just
noticed that. Sorry.
make it real quick. Council District 5 was not in existence when Measure AV Committee was created. After the election, Council District 5 was denied the opportunity to appoint to Measure AV Committee because there was a desire to create continuity with the existing members. And so across the board, all of the pre-existing members were kept on for an additional term. In the spirit of equity, as you noted, if we're gonna, if we want to ensure that each council district gets 2 appointments, I'd like for there to be specificity in the bylaws, in the municipal code, and in the resolutions that say that each council member in each district makes those 2 appointments, as opposed to just a uniform 10 across the board, to ensure, not for me, not for my own purposes, but for the future representatives of Council District 5 to make sure that its residents are represented on that Measure AV committee.
I will accept that amendment in my motion. I do think that that's fair. If I make an appointment and that person has to resign for whatever reason, I do think it's equitable for my district, whether it's me or somebody that wins the election in 2026. They should have the opportunity to make sure the district is represented, so I accept that amendment.
If we do this tonight, then we would be making the appointments tonight as well for 10 persons?
Yes, so if you look at the agenda, the next item is the appointment of the 7 members and the alternates to the Measure AV Oversight Committee. I'm just trying to, so we have a motion to add the 3rd alternate. Just to your point with the equitability of
The appointments. So what I
Yeah.
would, I think I know where you're headed because of the number of applicants. What I would like to suggest is that we adopt the amendments to the bylaws and the municipal code and the resolutions, but that we push or continue the actual appointment so that we can open it up just for maybe another couple weeks so that we can get more, because there's going to be one more. I don't know if that's going to create more work or just additional consideration, because we don't have enough applicants to fill 10 seats and 2 each district. Do we?
Yeah, we do. 15 applicants.
But are, for two each district?
There's only one in District 1.
That's my point.
Okay.
So what I would recommend doing, I would recommend adopting these bylaws with the third alternate, proceeding tonight, because there's this, okay, we have municipal code sections 2.08, 0.030, which is the appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. And what you have requested, it sounds like almost not just this board, but, I mean, there's a lot of boards with multiple committee members, and if this is the desired action forward, no problem doing that, but, I mean, I feel like we should do that for all of them, rather than just this one.
I agree
you know,
wholeheartedly. Let's make sure that
can I
every
just-
council district gets their equitable appointment.
Since we're having a conversation about this, every council person should be able to pick someone in their district, but let's say that there's somebody that Mr. Loa just really, really wants, but they're not in his district. They should have the option of choosing that person also, if they haven't been selected by another council person from that district.
Yeah, so the
Do
Measure
you see what
AB
I'm
committee
saying?
bylaws, if I'm, correct me if I'm mistaken, but I understand that they can be a resident of the city or of a particular district, or a business owner, or, so there's a little bit of flexibility in terms of the council members' ability to appoint outside of the parameters of
Right,
their
because
district.
they might live in one district, but
Right.
have a business in another
Right,
district.
exactly.
So why don't, because our muni code is kind of vague, and it pertains to multiple boards. To address this issue right now, I'm trying to find the bylaws I amended, but maybe we make that amendment for equitable, like, you guys could codify in the bylaws this, everybody gets two situation. And maybe we do that now and reassess all the other ones.
Okay.
It gives me and the city clerk time, because we got a lot of boards and there's a lot of outside activities. So to, in good faith, move forward with your motion, let's, I'm trying to find my bylaws.
So given that we don't have enough applicants for each council member to appoint two to the committee tonight, would it be an incredible workload in order to open up, to open up the opportunity for additional applicants to apply in, say, in the next 2 weeks or 4 weeks, 2 weeks, and then you can, or 3, however long it takes, we can leave it to the discretion of the city clerk to manage, but to open it up a little bit longer so that we can afford everybody the opportunity to.
They are set to have a meeting next week. So that was the reason, all of the terms have expired.
And I think we
So they're
did
set to
once
have a
already.
meeting next week on the 23rd.
Okay.
So that's why we wanted to move forward on this, at this meeting.
Okay. Well, we can move forward with just Council District 1 doesn't have 2 applicants.
So,
But you could pick someone from another district.
Yeah, I'd be happy to pick someone from another district, just so we can get the board going and get the meetings happening.
I have a question.
This is the second time we've extended it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
My question, is, we have a category of outside city boundaries. Does that continue under these proposals? Madam City Attorney?
I'm
Well,
looking.
the applicant themselves don't have to live in the district. It's giving the council
He said
member that
city.
represents.
Right.
So when we're picking our pick, we can pick someone that lives outside the boundaries. We can pick someone that lives in somebody else's district. We can pick anybody that was a qualified applicant.
But they have to have a nexus to the city of Palmdale. Right? This is
Yes, that is required.
taxpayers' money?
Correct. So they could be a business owner here,
live
but
in-
live, in Lancaster, or
They
live
live
in
in
Santa
or
Clarita, or
own a
live somewhere else,
business.
but their business is here.
So my question is, that category remains, the category of outside city boundaries.
Yes, so what I would recommend, based on everything I heard, is adopt the bylaws, motion to adopt the bylaws with an amendment to provide for 3 alternates instead of 2. And then right here under Article 2, where it says positions and terms, subdivision A, where it says committee members, I would add in a sentence that says, each council member shall appoint 2 persons. Shall nominate 2 persons to the board, something like that. And then that will take care of that issue moving forward each time. Well, this is the issue. The next time that these come up, their terms are going to be staggered. So typically, you're only gonna have 4 or 3 people. So having everyone pick 2 isn't gonna be, I mean, at some point, only 1 or 2 people aren't gonna be able to pick anybody. So it's really just for this initial term staggering that you have the option to appoint this many people at once. Or I guess if you hate it, you hate the staggered terms, leave it as is and appoint, just, you know, you don't have to approve the amendment.
Well, we don't have to approve the staggered terms
Yeah,
per
you
se,
could-
but we could still adopt the
Yeah.
requirement that each council district get its appointments.
Why don't we just do that? Why don't we just approve that and then move forward on the appointments?
Okay, so I think it would be a motion to amend the bylaws to provide for 3 alternates and that each council person gets to appoint 2 members each cycle. And then, but we are not approving the staggered terms. That is denied.
Okay. You all right with that, Mr. Lowe? You good?
Okay, so it's gonna be with the amendment
Eric,
to
you okay with
remove
that?
staggered terms,
Every 2 years. It's 7.
to add 3 alternates,
Correct.
and then to allow each council member
To appoint 2 members.
this one.
So does that mean that we are going to have 10 plus 3 or 7 plus 3?
7-3.
Because if it's 7
plus
plus 3, then which council districts are appointing the alternates?
So that's where
It's a luck of the draw.
That's why I said,
where
that's
the-
why I said leave that to fate.
yeah.
If we all nominate 2 names, 7, the first 7 to come out of the hat will be picked. I think that's the fair way. 3 names, you know, there's a chance that I pick 2 names and both of them end up being an alternate. That would be unfortunate, but that's the luck of the draw, I guess.
And I just want to check with Madam City Clerk. The original terms were 2 years, correct?
Yes, correct.
So every 2 years,
Right.
we're not doing the staggered terms. Nobody liked it, so we're not approving that. Every 2 years, this situation will
Why don't we do it
arise.
every 1 year?
And it sounds like we've figured out a way to handle it.
Is there a reason or rationale for the 2 years as opposed to every year?
I think other than just every year you have to appoint 10 people, but.
So just
if-
procedurally, it's an issue? I mean, I would,
Right, that's just the bylaws. I mean, the bylaws can be amended.
at least I mean, every year we could revisit it, and if we reappoint the same person, fine, but I'd rather amend it to require a council-specific appointment and a 1-year term, and we leave it, and we make those appointments tonight and just move forward.
I just worry about the learning curve. So I think 2 years would be okay, because it takes them a while to get up to speed on the processes for the city and the rules and all the regulations. I think 2 years.
Yeah, no, I think I hear you, but I think that's why they were concerned about the staggering, so that we don't lose everybody across the board all in one,
Yeah.
all 7 or all 10 all at once. That's why they want to stagger, so
Right,
that we
right.
don't have a complete loss of institutional knowledge.
Well, I've heard a multiplicity of different ideas. I don't know what the motion actually finally is.
I don't know
Okay.
either.
Madam Chair, may I make a suggestion? Since
Yes.
we are not staggering the terms, why don't each one of you select one person? That way you guarantee 1 seat on the board. And the final 5 you put in a hat and select from the hat.
Okay. That way, we all make sure someone from our district or our choice will be on the committee.
That
and
is
then
correct.
Good
we-
suggestion.
That's a good suggestion.
That'll be my motion
Are
then.
you, okay.
Let me try to see if I know
So
my
you-
motion.
So you have an alternate motion.
7 members. We're going to add 1 more alternate for a total of 10. We're going to pick 5 names. They're on the board. We're going to pick 5 more names. They'll go into the hat. Next 2 out make the board.
Yes.
The remaining will be alternates. That's my motion, I believe.
And they have 2-year terms?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Do we have a second on that motion?
Okay.
Anyone? Second on the motion?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any other conversation, council? All right, let's call for the vote.
Start voting. Motion passes unanimously.
All right. Okay, so now we're at item number 10, appointment of the 7-member. That's what this says. So we're moving to item number 10. Staff reference city clerk. So should we just pick who we want now, give you our names?
Are the applicants
Yeah,
here?
can we, are any applicants
Some of the
for the Measure
applicants
AV?
were unable to attend, just an FYI. Some applicants were unable to attend, but there are some applicants here.
Can we hear from all the applicants?
Would love to hear from the applicants.
If you're an applicant, come on up, please.
I-
Is that okay, Madam Chair?
Yeah, while they're coming up, I do have a mailed-in statement from an applicant, someone who's currently sitting on the board. So I'll read that out loud while they're coming up. This is from Cindy Garcia. She is from District 5. And she says, I understand the city council prefers applicants to be present during committee appointments. Unfortunately, I am unable to attend tonight's meeting as our Palmdale School District Board meetings are held on the same evening as the city council meetings. And I am required to attend in my role as executive assistant to the superintendent. I would be honored to continue serving on the committee for a final term and to build on the important work that we've done with Measure AV. It's been a pleasure contributing to the city and working with such exceptional staff. Thank you for your consideration. So I've read that into the record.
So, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I wonder if we could go district by district, in other words, the applicants, if we could go District 1, District 2.
Sure.
And so on, so we can just keep some continuity.
Okay, so who do we have from District 1? Would you come up to the podium and introduce yourself? Anyone? District 1?
Barbara Smart? Is Barbara Smart here?
Very sorry to tell you, I have no idea which district I'm in.
What's your name?
What's your name, sir?
What's that?
Howard Cohen.
You're District 2.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is Barbara Smart here?
So we'll move on to 2 then.
Okay, District 2. That would be you, sir. Come on up.
So we have several from District 2.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for having me here. My name is Howard Cohen, and apparently I live in District 2. What can I tell you? What would you like to know? You've read my mission statement, which is very brief.
I will allow your council person to ask you questions since they're selecting for their districts.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm sorry, well, so it's up to me then, is that what you're saying?
District 2.
All right, we'll
Okay.
just give a brief statement as to why you would like to be on this oversight board and what you bring to the table and that you would be adding to this very important board.
I'll do my best. I've lived in California since 1976. I met my wife here. We raised our children here. California has been very good to me. We've lived in Palmdale for 6.5 years, and we love the city. I'm lucky enough to have retired, and I would like to contribute back to the city, back to the state, in any way that I can make a meaningful difference. By education, I'm a macroeconomist. By profession, I was a chartered accountant, which is the English equivalent of a CPA, and I practiced in a variety of financial fields. I've got, I think, a reasonable amount of experience. I'd like to be useful in any way I can.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else from District 2? All right. Moving on to District 3.
No, we have
No?
District
Oh,
2,
I'm sorry.
There's
Mr.
so many
Egelbrand.
that are fighting over who's
Oh,
next.
okay.
He moved, so I stopped.
Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Stephen Engelbrandt. I am one of the original members of the Measure AV Board, elected 4 years ago. And I work as a financial advisor, work for a company called Edward Jones. and been a resident of the city of Palmdale for 35-plus years. My wife is from the Antelope Valley. She went to elementary school here at Tamarisk, and I met her here, so, and we raised our family here. The attributes I think I can continue to contribute is the continuity from being at the beginning of the first board. We had a lot of going through and trying to figure out what our directions were to be, and so I think I can add that to the committee and continue. And I just would like to continue to serve. I think that's all I can really say in general.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very briefly, Mr. Ackerbrand.
Yes.
How would you describe your experience on this board during this time that you've served?
You know, the original beginning was very confusing, to be honest, because we really didn't know what our directions were. We had to go back and forth to council and also to staff to kind of figure things out. So, so I think, like you mentioned earlier, we actually extended how many meetings we even had in the first year, because originally we were going to meet quarterly, and we just didn't feel like we could get up and running in a quarterly basis, and so we went to bi-monthly. That was an amendment that I had actually made. But now I think we kind of know our direction, and we kind of know what we need to do, and so we've kind of been working really well there. I would also, since Cynthia's not here for herself, I would also endorse her. She's been our chair this last year. She's done an excellent job. So.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Your experience couldn't be that bad since you want to do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Hello.
Good evening, elected members of the City Council. My name is Lourdes Everett, and thank you for allowing me to address you this evening regarding my application in seeking an appointment to the Measure AV Oversight Committee in the City of Palmdale. I've been a resident of Palmdale for over 30 years. I am currently semi-retired from my real estate brokerage. However, I still assist my agents under my brokerage. I have a financial background, not just from running my business, one from my prior business, which I did prepare taxes. I do hold a Juris Doctorate degree. I have experience in organizational structure as I held position as a Chamber of Commerce director. I also held a position with the California National Association of Realtors as directors. I held a director position for my own local director, and was also president of my local board in Torrance. I am conscionable and fair in my decision-making, and most importantly, I am cognizant that because of the nature of this position, the highest confidentiality must be taken. I do understand that this appointment may appear that I may serve under the pleasure and guidance of the City Council. However, I do acknowledge that because we are dealing with Measure AV money obtained from public tax funds, we will have to take into consideration foremost that will benefit the City of Palmdale and its residents. I do want to add that I did serve as Palmdale 2045. That was sunset not long ago. And again, I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And you, I just found out today, Ms. Everett, that you're not only a Juris Doctor, but you've actually passed the bar.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Yes, I'm just waiting for
Very good.
for them. Thank
Good,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jonathan. I'm actually a commercial broker out here. I help small businesses buy and sell here in the local area. So I'm very involved with the small businesses out here. One of the ones I recently brought here to Palmdale was Club Pilates, which is the one that just got put here in the AV Mall. So yeah, born and raised here, and just want to be more involved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from District 2? Mr. Sanchez, are you here? Paul Sanchez? Okay, I guess
All
that's
right,
it.
let's move on to District 3. Come on up.
It's been a long night, so I'll make sure to be brief.
and I have I have allergies, so if you hear me coughing, a little short. Good evening to the people, the good people of the city of Palmdale. Similar to Mrs. Everett, I have a 30-plus year history in Palmdale. I was actually one of the first graduating class of Shadow Hills in Olson's district. So I just wanted to take this time to speak to a few of the things that.
Could you tell us your name?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
I'm gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. I don't think I got a timer on me. We've been here long anyway, so. I want to speak to some of the things that I outlined in the application. So let me make sure. Yeah. So my name is James Bolden, Dr. James Bolden. As I mentioned earlier, I have a 30-year history in Palmdale, one of the first graduating classes at Shadow Hills Elementary School. I took some time to think about this, to think about if this is something that I actually wanted to do and be on this committee, especially considering just the weight that it holds, in the tax and in the city, the people of the city of Palmdale and Ms. Alacor, excuse me if I mispronounce your name, she spoke about it earlier, just, spoke to equity when it comes to the Measure AV Oversight Committee. In addition to that, transparency and accountability are also things that I outlined in my long application that I'm sure Ms. Bentecourt read because I'm in her district. So as I said, I'll keep it brief. To answer a question that you asked earlier, I want to serve on the Oversight Committee because I am deeply committed to public service and ensuring that the City of Palmdale's policies and initiatives align with the needs and priorities of the people in the community. I am currently, I work as a technologist and professor of quantitative research, and I also work with technology with Los Angeles Economic Development Corporation and the World Trade Center of Los Angeles County. And so, that speaks a little bit to my background professionally and, as a member of the Measure AV Oversight Committee, I believe it is essential to maintain accountability, transparency, and efficiency and governance over that. I believe it's key to just building this thriving community of the city of Palmdale. I've come to quite a few meetings since, just having this idea to run, and I see that the people have some just concerns and really voicing that when it comes to transparency, equity and just diversity in these spaces. And so that's something that I definitely champion and want to bring to the Measure AV Oversight Committee specifically because of the huge responsibility it has over taxpayer dollars. So like I said, I'll keep it brief. I didn't cough in the mic, thank God. I have real bad allergies. Through that responsible stewardship and strategic decision making, overall, I aim to help to ensure that the resources, the public resources of the city of Palmdale, the people's resources, are used efficiently, effectively, and the policies are implemented equitably, and programs are delivered with real benefits and impact to the people of the city of Palmdale. That's my piece on it, and if anyone has any questions.
So my question is this: what do I do for the sheriff's department?
Excuse me?
What is my job at the sheriff's department?
Your job at the sheriff's department. I know that you have your JD.
No.
You don't. You have your JD. You have your JD.
I read your resume, and you're a data analyst, and that's what I do for the sheriff's department.
Okay, you're a data analyst at the sheriff's department. Okay.
Yeah, so I totally relate to what you do. Is my point.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to put you on the spot.
Okay, no, you put me on the spot. And I'm sorry for not having that answer
But I
offhand.
I
been a long day.
appreciate somebody that has that kind of experience to do the research that needs to be
Yeah,
done,
for sure.
and pay attention to the details. So that's very impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else from District 3? Going, going, going. All right, District 4.
Oh, man.
Not one from District 4? How about, all right, District 5? Oh, there we go.
Hi, good evening, everyone, council members. My name is Elvia Aldalco Salazar. I was born and raised here in the Antelope Valley, and this community has always been my home.
Perdón, perdón.
District 4.
Yeah, perdón. Elvia. So you're 4, not 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're
Oh.
going back.
Okay, I'm
we're-
sorry.
We're going back to District 4.
District 4, yes.
excited.
I did get excited.
It's not your fault. We have changed the boundaries a few times, so.
I hold a master's degree in public administration and currently serve as the Director of Communications and Community Impact at Valley Oasis, a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to serving and providing services to those that experience trauma and homelessness. I'm passionate about transparency, accountability, and effective local government, which is why I've applied for this opportunity to serve on the Citizens Oversight Committee for Measure AV. I'm committed to using my experience to help ensure public funds are managed responsibly for the benefit of all our residents, and I thank you for your consideration in my application. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
No? Which district do you live in?
4. Proud to say I'm part of 4. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so I'm going to call for 5 again. Anybody from 5? Nobody from 5.
And just
Anybody
as a
not know what district they're in that has put an application in?
Just as a reminder, Ms. Garcia did submit her written statement. She is
Yes, she
represented
did.
from Council District
Yes.
5.
Yep. All right, then, let's see, where am I on my agenda here? So I guess now we select our choices?
Yes.
We just, like, huh?
Yes.
Do we need to have public comment on this item?
There are no public comments on this item?
Okay.
On this one? 10.2, yes,
Did
but
I
not
see your
this
hand
one.
go up? Come on up, come on up. Can't talk from the audience, you gotta come up.
I'm a teacher, I can speak without a microphone.
Oh, no, you're not allowed.
So my question is, as a teacher, a full-time teacher, I also coach high school sports. Where was this promoted as far as putting in an application? Because I would have put in an application for your district.
Oh.
So I would like to know the transparency of where that was promoted, because I use technology. I didn't see it anywhere. I read the Antelope Valley Press. I even read it in print sometimes, so I didn't see it there.
That's absolutely unfortunate. I would love
'Cause I
to
would-
get as many
I'd fill
applications
out an
as
application
possible.
right now, but I don't see one.
I know that it was the application period was extended one time, but can maybe the city clerk or city manager
Yes.
sort of talk about the process by which this was advertised?
Yes, I can share it. The city invited people to apply for open committee positions by posting a notice on its website, a press release, and social media posts. Also help to spread the word. So there's several different platforms that the city uses to get this information out. Like I said, this is what they did. The application period ran from February 27th to March 31st, and then was later extended to June 12th.
Interesting.
We received actually a total of 15 people applied.
That's not a lot of people applying. So I would suggest you guys revisit how you guys promote this, because it wasn't promoted very well.
Thank you.
Duly noted.
All right. Since there's no.
So now we're gonna go
D-
district
does
by
the-
district?
Does the council want to have any conversations, or do you want to just start with District 1 and you tell us who you're going to select, and we'll just move on down the road?
And we're doing only one, right?
Are we doing 1 or 2,
One
Madam
and
Clerk?
one, because the first 5 will make it automatically, and then we'll do another round.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna move to reappoint Barbara Smart. She's currently a board member for District 1 and the only one to apply. For District 1, so that will be my appointment.
Okay, I will select Stephen Angebrat, the incumbent. And I do that because I believe that the board has been doing a good job, and I think continuity of membership is important.
Yeah. All right, for District 3, I'm picking Romero Gomez Galliano. I'm sure I did not get that right.
For District 4, I would love to appoint Talia.
All right.
And by the way, I just want to say, I served on Measure AV board, so be very careful. You could end up here.
Yeah, that's true. Careful what you wish for.
But this is a hard choice for me because I want to say to all the incumbents, I know I just nominated a new person. I do believe it's time. It's been 4 years to start phasing in some fresh blood. But to everybody that has served on this board, if you don't get reappointed, it was a pleasure working with you then. It was just thank you for your service to the city in case you don't make it on. It was hard for me to not pick any of the incumbents. Like, there's so many that I'm just hoping continue to get picked. But thank you to everybody that has served. And this is a very important committee for the city of Palmdale, obviously, because what I love about Measure AV is transparency was baked into it.
Yes.
And this is just an example of that. We're publicly picking members to honor that commitment to being good stewards of the city's taxpayer dollars. So thank you for your service.
Councilmember Olson, can you repeat the name again?
Yes. Elvia Salazar.
Okay, thank you.
And for Council District 5, I'd be honored to appoint Celia Ayala.
Okay, so we have 5 that
We've
are
got the
guaranteed.
5 that are guaranteed, and then we've got the next round, right? Round
Right.
2.
And we'll put 5 names into a hat and 2 selected.
Well, my question is.
You can go backwards. 5,
Oh, yeah,
4,
we
3,
can
2,
do
1.
that. Sure.
Oh, so
Wait,
for,
wait, First of all, I have a question. So I had asked a question about the outside city boundaries. So we'd have to pick an individual as one of our picks, as one of our 2 picks? Is that what we're saying?
Yes, correct. The way I understood council's request was each council member gets to pick 2 people, presumably from their district, but you just get to pick 2 people. So if you want to pick them from someone else's district or outside the city bounds, then you would be able to do that, but.
So could I ask for some clarity? I noticed that one of our applicants just walked in, Cindy Garcia. Can I give her an opportunity to come to the podium and speak or not?
I was going to appoint her right now anyway. That's why I was going to go backwards.
Oh,
I was going
All
to
right, never
reappoint
mind.
you anyway right now, but
So
if
we're gonna
you'd
go
like to
backwards
come
now?
forward, it'd be wonderful. You're the current chair of the Measure AV Committee. We'd love to.
Aren't you glad you came in when you
Welcome.
did?
I rushed over here after my meeting, so.
Missed it.
'cause
I
I'm
just said a
city
bunch of
clerk
nice
at
things
my-
about you.
Thank you. I knew you would because I was on Measure AV with you
That's
from
right.
day one.
That's true.
So I'm a 39-year resident, raised 2 kids, a granddaughter. Both of my boys graduated college, engineers. I love this city. I'm a 26-year retired brat in the military Air Force. I love the planes we see here. I love everything about this city, and I would love to continue to serve. My dad taught us that you have to volunteer. Volunteering is part of my life. And I will say, most of our committee members don't take a paycheck from this city. I would love if you guys could change it where we could donate it, not receive it and then donate it. Personally, I'd rather give it to the library. So
You got some cheers behind you
I've
there.
asked that before, but I guess it's not something we can do, but maybe something we can look into
We
because
can definitely look into that.
I feel volunteering is something you do for free from your heart. I understand some people volunteer. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm just saying a lot of us don't take it.
Okay.
So that's it. Do you have any questions for me?
No questions. I just want to say, Chairwoman Garcia, thank you for your longstanding service and commitment to this community. On behalf of Council District 5, I'd be honored to reappoint you.
Thank you.
As my,
Thank you.
Mr. Loa?
Are we going backwards?
Yes, we're going backwards this time.
The remaining applicant in my district is Elias Acevedo, but he is serving on the Vector Control Board. And I think we have a policy that we don't want to put people on multiple boards. So I'm going to go to the outside city boundaries and pick Rick Carr.
Okay, so now it's me, and I'm going to pick James Bolden.
Good choice.
Now it's you,
Okay.
Richard, sorry.
I will select Everett Ludis. Lourdes Everett, rather.
District 1?
I will select Brila Balloum.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Who has a hat?
Are we going to do that now? Seriously?
And after this process is complete, I'm gonna ask you guys to make a motion just to approve all the nominations.
Mr. Soderstad is kindly offering and volunteering us his hat.
So how many names do we have to pick out of the hat?
5.
5.
Did anybody write down the names?
I got him. So it's Rick Carr.
Now, are we putting the second
The second,
selection of
yes.
names in
Yes.
the hat?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, hold on, let's see what this says.
Do you have a piece of paper? I can write him real quick.
What does it say?
Oh, she's writing him.
I'd love to be
So,
too.
I guess the
I
first
worked on
2
that.
names out of the hat are on the board, and then the next 3 names are alternates.
Correct.
Yeah, so the first 2 names pulled will be on the board. The next 3
Will be alternates?
are alternates.
Okay.
Let's repeat that one more time.
Yes, so they've already nominated 5.
Yes.
The board has 7 members.
Yes.
And 3 alternates.
Yes.
You have 5 names left
Yes.
over. The first 2 people picked out
Oh.
will be members. The next 3 will be the alternates. And remember, the alternates only come into play if someone resigns. And at that point, if someone does resign, the appointment is brought back to city council and you can pick from the 3 alternates who sits on the board.
All the technology we have this year, I love how we
You know, it could be worse. I won't even talk about the old ping pong ball thing that we had to do. So this is better.
Who am I missing? We had Dr. Bolden, Rick Carr, Cindy Garcia, Brila Balloum. Who are we missing?
I have him right here.
Oh, you already have them? Oh, okay.
I have him ready for you.
Okay. Wow, she's quick. Oh, she's printed them up already? Wow.
So who's picking?
Anybody want to cut the deck?
We're gonna make Marcia do it.
Let's let the deputy
Marcia
do it.
Furman? Oh,
Again?
or the deputy, Marcia or the deputy.
You've got the hat first, Chair.
Marcia picked it last time to pick you, didn't she? She picked you.
Okay.
If I pick the number again, y'all can.
It's not a number, it's a name.
Are you?
Let's let our deputy do it.
After a while, you got mad about the last time.
Nobody can complain about
I got
the
over it.
deputy.
Not the pick, the method.
Okay.
Now, if I pick you, Laura.
I'm not in it this time.
Huh?
I'm not on.
How come? You're not, I thought one from everyone.
Oh, you mean
No,
my
no.
person.
I mean, your
All right, ready? Here we go. Pick number 1. And the winner is Rick Carr.
Okay.
Don't you go anywhere, Marcia.
oh, that's what they're doing.
One more.
One more.
They have to do them all,
I like this one.
the way she said.
James Bolden, you win.
Okay?
Okay, wait, now.
Oh, no, the other 3 are just alternates.
Oh, is there only 3 left?
Yes, dear, that's the way it is.
Oh, thank you.
Is
Democracy in action.
And what's the guy's name?
Democracy in action.
Just tell me his
and
name.
thank you for the hat,
Thank you for the hat.
Roger.
Come on, Roger. I won't steal it, I promise. These are the alternates. Did you get this?
I might wait till the proceedings are concluded.
This for her, she wants to see the alternates.
What's it?
Oh.
What is this for?
She wanted to see the alternates.
Oh.
So for the alternates, we have Cindy Garcia, Lourdes Everett, and Brila Balum. Those are the 3 alternates.
Okay.
Wait, a motion please to approve the nominations.
I would make, oh, I'm not supposed to, am I?
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Thank you.
Can we call for the vote?
One moment, I'll get that for you.
Thank you for reminding me, sorry. It's been a while since I've done this.
You popped it in. Good one. All right. Start voting. Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, moving on to item number 10.2.
That says 2, but it will be 3.
Oh, right, for the alternates, yeah,
Sorry, I just want to clarify.
thank you.
Yeah, that's going to be 3. The motion was 3. The motion has 3.
Okay, so 10.2, staff reference, city clerk, Scott.
All right. So this item is for the appointment of 2 directors to the Palmdale Aerospace Academy. 1 to complete a term ending July 31st, 2026, and 1 for a new 3-year term ending July 31st, 2028. There was a term where we had an individual resign due to taking a new position, and so 1 will be completing a term and the other one will be a new term. We do have public comments on that section.
Oh, okay.
Just an FYI, if we want to.
Should we do public comments first?
Yes.
Let's go ahead and do public comments.
We have Ellen McIsaac.
Hi. First of all, I wanted to thank you for following your process and taking applications this year. I was very happy to see that so many people in the community are interested in supporting our local schools. And I also wanted to speak in support of Mr. David Lujan. He's currently finishing up his first term on the board, and he's really been a force for good at the school and in the community. He's making a positive difference. He's been very active at the school, in school activities, and in the community. And we've been through some churn in the past few years, and he's really taken a role in helping to build positive relationships within the school community, with the city, and with the Palmdale School District. But above all else, he's been focused on student needs, and that's what we need in a school board. With all the turnover that we've had recently, having some continuity for a second term would really provide stability that would benefit the school and our community. So I just wanted to ask that you think about, when you make your decisions, what will be best for our students and our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Gary Roberts.
Are we being timed?
3 minutes.
He's one of the applicants.
Oh,
He's one of the applicants.
Okay, come on up.
Would you like for me not to time him?
How long you gonna be?
I should have begun.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Gary Roberts, and I'm not going to go over my application, but I do want to talk about what I see as the responsibility of a board of director of TPAA. First of all, a board director must balance the budget. That's the most important thing that a board has to do. Make sure that they're fiscally responsible, that they don't get into deficit spending. As a prior TPA board member, you look at the first interim, you look at the second interim, you've got to pass them, you see how your money's going, where is it going? Secondly, the board creates policy. The most important thing is they create policy, and the third thing is they hire a superintendent. Just like a city council hires a city manager, we hire a superintendent to implement that policy. We as a board do not take over the implementation of it. We do not control that. I bring that up because the fourth thing is a board must follow bylaws. And I think in the last year, the board has turned over and has seen that it's very important that they follow bylaws. But there was a time, a year ago, where the board of TPAA decided to violate bylaws. That's not for them to do. If they want to change things, there's a process. But you don't change things in the middle. For example, this, this city council decided to appoint another person to be on the board. And it got out that the president of the board at that time said that the person was removed. Nobody was removed. You have every right as a board, under the board bylaws, to appoint. And that person who you appoint should be seated at the next meeting in August, which didn't happen. It took a little while. The board president did not want to do that. The board president wanted to change the board bylaws and have the city not have any representation. So it's very important to follow bylaws. You can change bylaws once you get in. That's something you can do. But you have to go through a process. Now, in the past year, it's been much better. The other thing the board needs to do, and to continue to do, is they have to review policy. You have to review to make sure that the policy that you have in place is not dated. For example, if I was on the board, one of the things that I would be asking is that we make sure that we're reviewing our policy every year or periodically. Board Policy 001, for example. This is board duties and responsibilities, delegation of power. Okay? Very simple. I just read it over. In there, it says that the board hires the superintendent. The superintendent recommends salaries for staff. Well, that's totally outdated. Superintendent does not recommend salaries anymore. There's a collective bargaining agreement. Superintendent can negotiate with the union, but that policy is outdated. We need to be looking at those things. We need to be looking at if we want to change things, or for example, let me give you a thing that I see that has been fantastic that happened in the last year. Here's how it works. Board policy. We want to promote STEM. We want to promote aerospace. We want to promote things that are in this community. Superintendent takes this, okay, we want to promote that. Superintendent says, you know what? I'm going to come up with a proposal. We're going to come up with a director of STEM and robotics. Absolutely fantastic. A director. Now, the director happens to goes back to the board for approval to hire this person. This is what we need to do. This is what the Aerospace Academy is about, to have a director of STEAM and robotics, to have someone on staff that can now maybe work the other way, out to Lockheed, out to other aerospace communities, to bring them in as partners for the aerospace community. So, and the person that got this was Patrick Brophy. Excellent thing. This is how a board should work, and it's working. Last thing is, I'm very concerned with the retention that we have of our certificated staff. We need to retain the staff. Test scores correlate very high with permanent staff. And that would be something that I would really, truly want to work with, is to how do we retain the staff that we have, and to make sure that we follow what our vision is, to provide a world-class education that integrates science, technology, energy, arts, and mathematics to prepare students for careers in aerospace and beyond. That's why I would like to be back on the board. What I wanted to do in my first 5 years, I think I accomplished some things, but I would like the opportunity to accomplish more. Thank you so much.
David Lujan, who is also an applicant.
How you doing? Good night. Good evening. It's a little bit different on this side. I'm a planning commissioner, so I'm used to sitting on the other side. So good evening. Currently, I've been serving on the board for Palmdale Aerospace for about 2 years and 8 months. Right around there, I'm currently the board president for about a year. So I'm here tonight to sincerely ask for your support in my reappointment for my second 3-year term on the board of directors at Palmdale Aerospace. Why do I want to serve? Basically, I'm an alumni from Boy State. High school students come in, they teach you about civics, leadership, and how to give back to the community. I enrolled in, got into the Navy, and that was engraved on our mind. Give back to the community, make it better than it is, improve any way you can your community. So I currently give back to my community, my local community, planning commission, and the school. So I'm giving back as much as I can. I'm like unwavering commitment to these students, the school. Like there's no other agenda but the students and the school. That's my only concern, is students, staff, and the school. I show up for these students. I show up for the staff. I'm constant. I'm always at the events. I'm always promoting the school, promoting the students, engaging with the students and the staff. I served breakfast with the lunch ladies there. You know, I've gone there, cooked out for the final sunset for the seniors. I've, donated backpacks. We with the PTSO and the school, we formed a committee and we raised Thanksgiving dinners for families in need at the school. So it's just not being on the board, it's getting all the different stakeholders involved in becoming this amazing school that Palmdale Aerospace is. We're unique. We're like a unicorn. Like this is Palmdale Aerospace. We're at the cusp of being great, just great. A couple of things we've accomplished. We signed 2 historic labor contracts. That was no easy task. That was hard work. There was lots of late nights, lots of work that we put in there. We restored leadership and stability. Just looking at the board and starting new projects, new things that we're doing. Refocus our mission and student success. We went ahead and went back to our original mission statement and vision, kind of tweaked it a little bit, and we came out with a new website, and we're pushing that out for the kids and stuff. We assigned, like Mr. Roberts said, we assigned a director of STEAM and robotics. Like that's amazing. Like we send a message across the AV and everywhere that we're back. Palmdale Aerospace Robotics STEAM is back. We focus on academics and performance expectations. Success, we successfully renewed a charter renewal. That again was no easy task. The charter renewal was a lot of work, but we were successfully got renewed as a charter. Why do I continue doing this? Basically, we're not done. Like, I'm not done. I've been on the board for 2 years and 8 months. We've accomplished so much. If I get your support for another 3 years, just imagine how much more we could accomplish. And I'll come back before my term is up and give you all the progress we've done and everything we've achieved in those 3 years. In closing, I'm extremely proud of the school, the students, everybody at the school that's associated with the school. Just want to thank you for your support, and thank you.
Thank you.
Keisha Como, who is also an applicant.
Well, good evening, board and members of Palmdale. Thank you for having me be able to speak. I submitted this application after seeing it posted on social media. So I saw it on the City of Palmdale Instagram. And the first thing I thought of when I think of the Palmdale Aerospace Academy is the reputation it has amongst youth. So I work with a lot of local youth in the Antelope Valley, and many of them who attend there have good things to say about it. And if there's one thing we know about teens is that they are going to tell you yes or no, whether they like something or don't like something. They're going to be brutally honest. So for the teenagers to talk about having a positive experience with the staff and with the programming there was amazing. amazing. I've also been able to go and present at one of the career days that they had that was not just about aerospace, but encompassed other different divisions of careers, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the spirit of the school, and being a local born and raised resident of the Antelope Valley, I want to give back. When I think about Palmdale, my earliest memories are my grandparents taking me to Thursday night on the square, something that we did weekly in the summer times, and also being a part of Youth Court, which is Youth Court, Teen Court, something that the city of Palmdale did and supported me. I did that for about 6 years, from 6th grade to 12th grade, and was able to have so many opportunities opened up. So how the city of Palmdale helped to raise me, helped to be that village and enjoy, being a part of the community, I want to give back. So I left for a few years to go get my bachelor's degree in government and politics, and then continued to get my master's degree in sociology. And I love teaching. I currently work at a local nonprofit where I mainly teach anger management, life skills, and different career pathway planning curriculum to at-risk youth and different teens. So I'm see a various large amount of teenagers throughout the week, teaching them about career pathway planning, which I know is something that is very big at the Palmdale Aerospace Academy. And then specifically those teens who are at risk and having trouble, who may have be on probation right now. Some of them do attend or have attended in the past Palmdale Aerospace Academy, and have been able to just attend these anger management classes and these life skills classes, and I've enjoyed teaching them. I am very well versed in curriculum. I have a background in being able to match curriculum to different classrooms. I have also served as someone who's reviewed curriculum in the past, and I think that would be of help being on this board if I was chosen. And I just want to hopefully be a new, fresh face on the Palmdale Aerospace Academy's board of directors, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. No, awesome. Well, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Applicant Farat Taxpalat.
Hello, my name is Firat Tashpalat. I've been a longtime resident of Palmdale. I grew up here when I moved to Eastside Palmdale when I was 10 years old. I went through Ocotillo Elementary School, David G. Millen Intermediate, but back then it started off as Avid Academy. It was just 2 buildings behind Summerwin Elementary School, so that's where I went for middle school, and then Highland High School. I applied to this position because I really like to give back to my community. Currently, I lead computer vision and programming for Team 5012, our first robotics team at TPAA. And I'll give a little bit of a spiel about my background. After graduating from Highland High School, I attended UCLA, where I studied applied mathematics. While I was studying at UCLA, I interned at Edwards Air Force Base for multiple summers and winter breaks, where I got to work on instrumentation engineering with the 412 Test Wing. After I graduated, I was awarded a full-time position where I worked at Edwards for a year. And after I finished working at Edwards, I worked at Lockheed Martin as a senior software engineer for 3 years. During that time, that's when I met Patrick Brophy. You guys probably heard about that name quite a few times today. And he was my coworker, and he told me, hey, I know that you work on a lot of volunteering in the community. I work on like aerospace robotics competition as well as some other things for Palmdale. And he knew that I like to give back to the community that I was raised in. And so he said, if you want to lead programming, I know you have interest in artificial intelligence, computer vision. We have this position, so that's how I got involved with TPAA. And so leading the computer vision and programming team was a great experience. I'm still currently working on that and getting to help students, mentor them, and basically having that experience of being raised in the Antelope Valley, specifically in Palmdale. I appreciate all the opportunities that I got when I was in school, but I also recognize that there wasn't these robotics competitions, there wasn't these like engineering after school activities that I could have been a part of. And so with that mindset, I want to help improve on whatever we can for our city's youth. And so I applied to this position. So if I was selected, I would be ecstatic. I forgot to mention, I worked in aeronautics for 3 years. Currently, I work in AI research for Lockheed's Artificial Intelligence Center. I work on like reinforcement learning, natural language processing, stuff of that sort. And I also work on quantum computing research right now with Lockheed Martin. So I have a lot of technical background. So I just wanted to lay that out there. But I also have a really personal relationship with the city. When I was growing up, people were always talking about, oh, I'm going to leave Palmdale when I grow up. I'm going to move to Los Angeles or whatever. And I never really understood that because we have such a great community here. And I hope that my background, education, and technical experience, as well as my community involvement, all of you could consider that, and I'd be excited to be accepted for the position. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
No other applicants? No, this is for the applicant.
Oh,
The applicants only, no.
I thought it was open. She said no more applicants.
Yeah, that
The applicants are speaking, you're not an applicant.
Her speaker wasn't an applicant. She wasn't an applicant.
I have no more speaker cards at this moment.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misread the situation, I didn't know we were.
Yeah. Just real quick, first off, I think you guys have some amazing applicants for a school board. As a teacher, I know the troubles that a high school district board can cause. I've been through the recall process in the last few years. I do want to ask a question as to, you mentioned earlier not serving on more than one committee that you guys had. You didn't want to you wanted to make sure that it was spread out. Is serving on this school board the same as serving on one of your committees, such as the Planning Commission? I'm just curious. Because I think that if that's the case, you guys do have a possible conflict of interest there. Not to, say anything against a candidate, but I think that if you guys are going to talk about that across the board of being, I think that that's something you guys need to clarify.
So, Madam City Attorney, I think that question is to you, and I think it's raised because I think historically, this academy and its board has not been technically deemed a body that is governed by the city, and so historically, from what I understand, it was not considered a city entity, so you could serve on both, and it would not be a conflict. But I don't know if now there
That is
is
correct.
a new, is that correct?
That is correct.
And so I don't know if there is a change in the opinion and the viewpoint of that, but the reason why it's being raised is because the current chair is also a planning commissioner, and he is applying to continue to serve on this board of this academy. So I will leave that to you. I just sort of tee it up for you to give you a little bit of the background, and maybe get your
Yeah.
thoughts.
So the fabulous city clerk gave me our PMC ordinance, and subdivision G does say a board, commission, or committee member shall serve on only one board, commission, or committee at a time. If a member is appointed to another board, commission, or committee while serving on another board, the member shall immediately be deemed to have resigned from the other board. So under the ordinance and the policy, it's desired that the same people obviously do not serve on one or more board. However, based on what the city clerk has said and what you just kind of laid out, that policy hasn't changed in regards to this board. However, to be consistent, there is an argument that maybe you should have different people serving on the boards.
So there is no formal definition of committee or commission. I think historically it was viewed that this academy's board was not governed solely by the city and not created solely by the city. So it didn't count, didn't fit that definition. But if there is no formal definition in the code or in the bylaws, then I think that leaves the question to us, colleagues, as to whether or not we want to interpret that to apply to this academy or not.
May I ask another question since you have the bylaws there?
The ordinance.
Oh, the ordinance, I'm sorry. Well, this might not even cover it then. I was going to ask maybe if we can start including the bylaws and ordinances in the agenda packets. Because
Yeah.
my question is, on the other side of this, I think Patrick Brophy, first of all, if you're listening, you did an amazing job on that board in your short time there. We appreciate everything you did. But he did resign because he took a full-time job at the school. So I want to know, some of these applicants are also teachers. So why did the conflict apply to him but not to the applicants? So we cannot appoint a teacher from the school? Is that correct?
Yes,
For the TBA bylaws, they would have to resign.
yes. Because they cannot be, it's just like any other board, you cannot be a person that,
It'd be kind of a conflict.
Yeah.
yes. But the other thing is also, this is a board not just of the district. It's a combination board. It's not controlled by the district, so I don't know if it falls under like what you're saying. Somebody cannot be on this board and a planning commission, because it's not a board that's controlled by the city. It's a board that's controlled by City of Palmdale and the Palmdale School District. It's a joint charter that you belong into. And then you have to maybe look at the charter.
Yeah.
And it's not saying that you are a designated entity. City of Palmdale, they are the designated entity.
I think one of the goals of not having a person on more than one committee is there's a lot of confidential information shared at some committees, like the Planning Commission. Maybe we're working on building something across from the school. So we would not want someone to be on both of those committees. So that we don't bump into those kind of conflicts, we try to limit it to just one committee. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
No, it makes sense, but I was just saying though.
About the teachers.
It's not a control, it's not
Right,
just
no, I get it.
a city.
Okay. Right, no, I totally get that.
So I think, just generally, I think the ordinance allows us the latitude to go either way on this one. I think by virtue of the recommended appointments, we will then sort of assume whatever policy we want to adopt moving forward. If we as a council want to, decide that this board of this academy counts as a duplicitous or sort of a conflict, and you can't serve on the planning commission and serve on this academy, then we would not then appoint Mr. Lujan. But unless we want to take up a whole policy discussion on whether or not this counts or not counts, I mean.
Well, I didn't realize this was an issue before, and I don't think it has been an issue. It's tough because I believe Mr. Lujan has done a good job, and he has served the school, and he has served the city well, so I don't want to punish him or, because I was planning on reappointing him or offering to reappoint him, but it wasn't a problem with the policy before, but it's at the will of the council.
Yeah. For what anybody wants to listen to, I guess, from my opinion, I don't want to lose that institutional knowledge that Mr. Lujan has. He's the chair of the board. We have new members that we added to the board, so if we replace him with another new member, then we have zero institutional knowledge on the Palmdale City side of things. So at this particular time, for this particular board, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that we go down that path of enforcing that rule. But on the same hand, we are looking at the process of other appointments on how to make them more district-specific. Maybe when we go through that and get the final recommendation, then we'll reevaluate all of the boards from then. So, does anyone else want to speak before I make a motion?
I just want to make an appointment recommendation.
Okay.
I'm so excited. I think Mr. Farad Tuxpulat, is that your name? And please forgive me if I've mispronounced it. You are the epitome of what this academy was created and established for. And we are blessed to have you as a mentor. currently working with our students and your brilliance. I mean, I was just sitting here smiling because you light up this room, and I'm sure you light up the brains of all of the future STEM leaders in our community. So thank you. So I would just like to nominate that we appoint Mr. Farhat Taxpulat as one of our nominees, but specifically for the new 3-year term, not the one incomplete, unexpired term. I want him to have a full term if we could all agree on that. So I think we should vote separately because
But-
there's 2 different terms.
We still have some more council
Yeah,
conversations.
sure.
Yeah. May
Yes.
I go forward? All right.
Oh, you're not?
First of all,
I thought it said he was.
if memory serves, the TPAA board is not one of the city boards. It's not the planning commission, it's not the library board, it's not the aerospace board, any of those. And I think the intent of the ordinance was to preserve the issue of not having duplicate members on these various boards. But I think the aerospace board is a completely different thing. I don't think that there's any conflict with Mr. Lujan serving on the planning commission and on the aerospace board. And that's my memory as far as when we adopted this.
I don't want to cut you off. I'm only briefly interjecting to say, upon further review of the ordinance, subdivision A says city council boards, commissions, and committees, which now it all makes sense. This isn't a city council board, as you just stated. So
Correct.
everything you just said is correct. I think he can be on both boards. Back to you guys for your discussion.
Okay, before you make your comments, Mr. Olson, I think that it's important that we keep Mr. Roberts on there, or that we return him to the board, so I hope the motion will include him.
I'd like to reappoint David Lujan. I think he's done a great job in our community. And like Mr. Olson said, I'd hate to lose that institutional knowledge. And from personal experience, I've gone there when they've had robotic competitions on the weekend, and Mr. Lujan is there with the kids, spending his time on the weekends, and he's highly engaged, above and beyond what I've seen from normal board members. And I've had positive feedback in the community about him, so I would have no reason not to want to recommend a reappointment to him, to the board for him.
So could I make an alternate motion?
Sure.
That would be that we appoint David Lujan, Gary Roberts, and Firat Taxpulat.
We only have 2 positions.
Wait,
So,
wait, there's a
can I-
motion on the floor first.
can,
It says it must,
3-year and a 1.
Right, so there are two vacancies that we're appointed to. One is an unexpired term ending July 31st, 2026. And then there's a second appointment for a 3-year term. The nomination that I was making was for Mr. Farhat Taxpulat to serve in the new 3-year term expiring July 31st, 2028.
Can I just clarify, because it does say Palmdale Aerospace Academy in your application. You're a volunteer? You're a volunteer. Okay, so then the teacher role doesn't apply. Great. That makes it harder because I like 3 of you.
It's tough when you have a lot of good
So I would like
applicants.
to suggest that we take each position, because the terms are different, separately. Because doing them jointly would be a little bit complicated if we all want to do different things.
okay. Let's go ahead and start with the shorter term. Do we have a consensus on who we want for the shorter term?
I'll second his motion on Mr. Lujan.
Okay. We have a,
for the shorter term?
for the shorter term or the long term? The 3-year or the 1?
I think with his institutional knowledge and how long he's been there, it'd be good for the longer term.
So put him in a 3-year term?
Can he be reappointed next year?
There's term limits on these. It's a 6-year maximum, correct?
You can serve 2 consecutive full terms. After that, you have to be off the board for at least a year before you're eligible for
Right.
consideration, which is why Gary's eligible again.
So how many terms have you served, sir?
2 years, 8 months.
So you've only served 1, so he could be reappointed in 1 year for a whole nother full 3, so that would give him 4 more.
I thought it's only 2 terms.
No, he's got to finish this
He
term.
has to finish this term first.
And then he gets the new 3-year term.
Right.
Right. So he
After
can do
that.
No, we're voting now for the three-year term.
Your term is expired?
My term, still my term right now, it ends, I guess with the new assignments and everything like that, it ends at the end of July. So I requested to go for the three-year term. The one-year term is filling Patrick Brophy's term.
Okay, so,
The three-year term was to fulfill my second three-year term.
He can't do the unexpired one.
Okay.
He cannot do the one. He can only do the three because this is his second.
I understand.
Because you would be completing and you did more than 50% of that term. Got it, okay. So we can do them
Okay,
jointly
so
then.
to clarify, because the second is a short term,
Unexpired.
unexpired.
It's an unexpired term. Patrick Brophy.
Right, he opened it up.
Unexpired, so it's only a
So it expires in 1 year.
1 year.
Which
But
we-
my question is,
Go for another 3-year term.
so yeah, my question was, it won't count as a term because it was only 1 year. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
So
just,
he could technically serve 7 years.
I
If
would
we
like
point him
to-
to the one.
I would like to complete the motion. Nominate Mr. Lujan for his reappointment for the three-year term and Mr. Fiat to the short term that won't be a term.
Second.
Yeah. And Mr. Roberts, your knowledge on everything is amazing.
I think we both said second. Okay, can we call for the vote?
Are we in the process of voting? So,
We're just waiting for it to come up
well,
on the
the
screen.
problem is, I think that Mr. Lujan should be reappointed to the three-year term. But, I think that you're a very impressive young man, but I do think that Mr. Carr has the institutional knowledge, and so I don't want to vote no.
Mr. Carr's not an applicant.
You mean Mr. Roberts?
Yes, Mr. Roberts. That's what I meant, Mr. Roberts. Sorry about that. So I would
So does anybody have a second to Richard's motion for?
get an alternate motion.
No, we have a first and a second to Councilmember Olson's motion.
But I agree
making
with
an
half the
alternate
motion, that's the
motion.
problem.
So he's making an alternate motion? And your motion is,
Well, we take them one by one.
okay,
So for example, in this motion, if you just make it Mr. Lujan, we can vote on that, and then we can move on to the one-year term.
okay. We're gonna-
Sure, that's
We're
okay.
gonna cancel that motion. And we're gonna have a motion for the three-year term. I will make the motion for Mr. Lujan to have his next three-year term.
Second.
Okay?
Let's call for the vote.
Start voting. Motion passes unanimously.
So I would now move to have Gary Roberts serve the shorter term.
Is there a second to that? If not, I'd like to make an alternative motion that we appoint Mr. Toxpulat to the second position to complete the unexpired term ending July 31st, 2026.
Mr. Lola's motion will die for lack of a second, and we'll take under consideration Andrea's motion. So Andrea's motion is for the, Mr. Fiat to have the one-year term.
Second.
So we have a first and a second. Can we call for the vote?
Typing fast over there, I see you. Thank you.
Okay. Start voting. One more.
Somebody didn't press hard enough?
One more. Does everybody agree? Yeah. I'll put the last one in, thank you.
Okay.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, moving on to public hearing, item number 11.1. Do we have a staff report on this? Oh, there you are. Sorry.
No problem. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and members of the council. My name is Brenda Magana, Planning Manager. The item before you tonight is an ordinance amendment to modify residential development standards for single-family residences and accessory dwelling units. The proposed amendments to the detached single-family residential development would allow the use of foam trim around exterior doors, windows, and decorative features. Foam trim is a widely used decorative material in the construction of single-family houses, and this amendment will provide developers the flexibility needed when they're designing the homes. The proposed amendment also includes changes imposed by HCD related to ADUs within the multifamily residential standards to comply with state law as follows. First, local agencies cannot mandate replacement parking when an uncovered parking space is demolished during the construction or conversion of an ADU. Second, the definition of livable space has been expanded. And last, the maximum number of allowed detached ADUs for lots with an existing multifamily dwelling has increased from 2 to 8, as long as the number doesn't exceed the primary dwelling units on the lot. I'm available for any questions.
So did I understand correctly that you can put 8 accessory dwelling units on a property?
As long as it doesn't exceed the number of primary dwelling units on the lot. So because you are dealing with a multifamily property, there's typically more buildings. So they can, in essence, match what's there.
Wow.
And just to be clear, that's state law. We didn't make it up. It's state law. They told us we have to do it, and that's why it's before you today.
So we just don't have an option, do we?
So just for clarification, all of what is being proposed today are just revisions of our current municipal code in order to reflect updates and amendments that have been made to California statute.
That's the second part of the amendment. The first part addresses single-family residences. Our code currently prohibits foam trim. However, we've been flexible whenever we're working with developers. That's a common material used when designing homes.
I don't build. What do you mean by foam? I mean, where would they put foam? Is it for insulation? Is it for
so
decoration?
It's typically around the decorative trim of doors, windows. You'll see the stuccos over it, but it's foam underneath.
It's very common.
Is it? All right, learned something new today. Oh, thank you.
You can't tell because it's painted over.
Okay, all right. So, do I have a motion?
You need to open the public hearing.
Let me open the public hearing. Anybody want to talk about the foam?
I'll read the ordinance
Okay.
title into
Thank
the
you.
record. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Palmdale approving zoning ordinance amendment 25-0001 to modify residential development standards within the zoning ordinance and find that the project is consistent with Program Environmental Impact Report 22-002 prepared and certified in conjunction with the city's general plan, Palmdale 2045. Mayor and council, can we also introduce?
Yes, we
And
can.
have a voice vote?
Absolutely.
And then we'll move forward
Move
to
to
the
introduce the matter?
Second.
voice vote.
Yes?
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Now we'll have Mr. Jason Zink.
I asked staff to actually come and give you guys examples of the foam so you would understand it, or even put it in the packet, on the agenda, pictures. I just think staff can do a little bit more for us and for you. Pictures of the foam just to show what it is. Maybe even brought a piece over, They use foam also around swimming pools and stuff too, so it's very durable.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
As far as the ADUs, so basically I believe you can take your driveways out and everything like that and put an ADU in front. And then guess what?
There's no parking.
There's no parking. And guess what? We have street sweeping. Where are people? Most people I know have 4 cars in their house. And their garage, they don't park in the garage. So what are you gonna do when they put ADUs on your lot, take away the driveways? This is chaos. You guys do chaos, but state does chaos.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see leadership and for the city of Palmdale to push back on the state because our quality of life is being destroyed. Just like green waste collection. I don't know anybody that does green waste, right? But yet we're being charged more for it, right? It actually takes more CO2, it actually puts more greenhouses to take that green waste and produce the fuel. Do you know that? So we're actually creating more of a problem. More greenhouse gases. To collect it, then we have to ship it to Bakersfield, then we have to do that. Those people drive their cars to the factory, and then they have to, I would love for you guys just to take a study, push back on this, do a study on green waste, do a study on this, and then take it to Sacramento and say, wait a minute, we just got 50 other cities and we're gonna sue you guys. That's what leadership is. I think that's what the problem is with the city council. You guys are followers, you're not leaders. Look how much dysfunction there is in the city council meeting. I mean, we wasted so much time on something that should have been done already. You know, the academy is what, 10 years old? The Measure AV is 4 years? Why isn't all these questions already done? You guys need to organize this house, the city attorney and the city manager. This is chaos. This is such a waste of so much valuable time. We have 6,700 homeless people in Antelope Valley. We have 75 to 100,000 super commuters in Antelope Valley. We need 6,000 units built yesterday. And we wasted 2 hours on this nonsense.
Thank you.
We have no further speaker cards on this item.
All right, then I'm going to close public comments for this item.
If there's no council discussion, happy to move the staff recommendation.
Is there any council discussion? All right, motion and a second. Can we call for the vote?
Start voting. Motion passes. 1 no.
And we're going to go ahead and move on to item number 12, city manager's report.
Mayor Pro Tem, members of City Council, join us tomorrow at Positlan Square for the District 1 Neighborhood Watch. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. You'll be able to meet your public safety staff, local law enforcement, community partners, and most importantly, your council member in District 1, Mr. Austin Bishop. So come by and say hello. Okay. Also, don't forget, Farmers Market still continues every Friday between now and October 31st, so no more breaks in between. So we'll be going on every Friday from 5 to 9 p.m. So join us out there as well. This Saturday, July 19th, is start to our concert summer series. Dustin Lynch will be performing this Saturday, and the Saturday after that, July 26th, will be Bull and the Gang. Yes, how can I forget that one? Tickets on sale at palmdaleamphitheater.com. Join us out there. Also, that same Saturday at Dominic Massari and Marie Kerr will be having a water balloon fight. So join us for some family fun. But last time I've seen water balloon fights, they kind of lead to something else. So be safe, but stay cool. Also, we'll have Books and Barks on Tuesday, July 29th at Palmdale Library. And Friday, August 1st, we'll have Kung Fu Panda 4 playing at the Palmdale Amphitheater. So look up all things up on the Palmdale website. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're moving to item number 13, Sheriff's Report.
Good evening, Council. Lieutenant Lane Arnold on behalf of Captain Barden tonight. For the month of June, our average response times for routine calls for service was 120 minutes. We handled 4,154 calls for service. We continued our partnership with the city's public safety staff, with CSOs handling 123 incidents and writing 88 reports. The city-funded special assignment team made 60 arrests in June and assisted the city's code enforcement team on 20 operations. Based on preliminary data, we're averaging 293 Part 1 crimes per month, which is down 9% compared to last year with 174 less reported crimes. We averaged 323 Part 1 crimes last year, and we've seen decreases in every category except burglary, and we're attributing that to the number of commercial burgs that we experienced in the beginning of the year. Violent crime is down 12% overall. We're also down 21% on gang shootings compared to last year and 50% compared to 2 years ago. We've had a total of 348 arrests in June, and we recovered 40 firearms. Graffiti continues to be a prominent issue for us. The city-funded graffiti detective noted 23 arrests for graffiti and an additional 25 investigations into graffiti incidents. Reported traffic collisions are on par with last year at 989. However, our fatal collisions are up 50% at 12 total. Speeding at late hours has been a common trend in these collisions. To combat this trend, we've partnered with the City of Palmdale to conduct nighttime traffic enforcement. To date, we've issued 110 citations and only 3 operations, so those have been very successful. Top speeds during each operation have been over 90 miles per hour on surface streets. We will continue these operations for the foreseeable future with another one planned this week. Citations are down for the year at 4,424 citations. We're attributing this to the fact that we had responses to the fires and the protests earlier than a year. We believe we'll end the year close to the previous year's numbers. During the 4th of July weekend, partnered with the city's code enforcement team to combat illegal fireworks. Together, we were able to issue 50 citations for illegal fireworks and seize nearly 300 pounds of illegal fireworks. We're currently researching the call data for this year to identify locations we may have missed and working with the city to ensure the locations are monitored closely next year for illegal fireworks. We're looking forward to joining the city and our community members at National Night Out, August 5th, 5 p.m. Ponce Square. Palmdale Station will be honoring Deputy Ryan Klinkenbrummer on the 2nd anniversary of his murder on September 16th. Lastly, please mark your calendars for our 2-day open house and haunted jail event, October 11th and 12th. The 11th will be an event with a scarier haunted house, and the 12th will be a daytime event with a trunk or treat added this year. This year's haunt is a zombie-themed haunt. And that's all I have if you have any questions.
So one of them is scarier than the other, so you can bring your little kids to one and your big kids to the other.
Correct, I believe
Right.
that's the idea.
That's the idea.
Yes.
And I heard you had a tremendous response to it last year. You had lots and lots of people go through
Very
it.
successful last year. We got a lot of positive feedback from that. So we're going to continue it this year. And I think the adults wanted it a little scarier. So we're gonna take care of that.
Good, and I wanted to thank you for your speed enforcement. I am noticing more of the motorcycles around town for doing, not just speeding, but bad driving.
Yeah.
I think people kind of lost their minds during COVID and just drove however they wanted, and they continued, and finally we're reining them in, and hopefully it will save people's lives. So
Yes.
thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I'm surprised at the speeds, to be honest with you.
It's shocking.
It's really bad, so.
Yeah. Thanks, so
Any
thank you
other
very much.
questions?
Any questions, council?
No, I was gonna say the Halloween event last year was pretty scary, but maybe that's what we want. So kids think that maybe jail's a bad thing.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, we
So-
don't want to scare them too bad.
I think it
Is that
works
like
out.
scared straight?
I think it works out. I'm gonna tell my son, hey, you gotta stay straight because you'll end up in jail. And they got ghosts.
The old scared straight tactic, I
Ghosts
don't
in the
know.
jail.
Yeah.
Not the babies.
But I just want to say thank you for everything you do, and then the reminder about the anniversary of the murder of Deputy Klinkenbruber.
Yes, sir.
2 years ago, the worst day of all of our lives on this council.
Horrifying.
And that's us here. So I can't imagine what you and your department and your deputies are going through. So, yeah, I just feel bad that with everything going on in the world, we need to stop and reflect what the bigger issues are and what the true tragedies are and who's really suffering. And I know you, your department, and his family are and continue, and my heart is with everyone.
I appreciate that, sir, very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right, so now moving on to item number 14, non-agenda public comments. Do we have any speaker cards?
We have David Havler.
Mayor and members of the council, for the record, I'm David Halver, your film liaison, and I've actually got some good news for you. If you weren't aware of it, something good to hear. So if you weren't aware of it, over the last few weeks, Sacramento has passed Senate Bill 132 and 630, which have been a tremendous increase for the state's film and TV tax incentive. It's now up from previously $330 million a year, now at $750.
Wow.
It's not quite as competitive as some of the other states, but it's bringing back some shoots. But I want to give a shout out to Megan and to Zach in Economic Development because they've been fantastic to work with. The Film Palmdale incentive program is off to a great start. They haven't actually implemented the use of the incentive program with the permits, but this last week, we had Steven Spielberg in Palmdale. Yeah, it was a big deal. I was contacted by one of his key location people just before the 4th of July. And we spent the last week up until Thursday scouting locations. We didn't actually film in Palmdale, came very close to it, but he specifically requested coming to Palmdale because of, and this is kind of off thread going to the logo, because of our Joshua trees.
Yeah.
So we ended up filming at Rocky Buttes Movie Ranch, which is about 150th and Avenue M8. And he did a night shot, but we ended up with about 100 people that were here for the shoot. 35 of them stayed and took advantage of our hotel incentive program, stayed at hotels in Palmdale. And everybody had a great time. Everybody loved it. The weather was hot, but it was a night shoot because they wanted to catch the full moon. But this whole movie was basically filmed in New Jersey, but he requested from their location manager, we got to go to Palmdale for this shot. And Kat Kagan is she's a widely recognized location scout and location manager. She managed Jurassic World and Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain America and a whole bunch of Marvel films. And I've known her for years, and so she called me immediately as soon as she got the call. But apparently Spielberg called her up and said, we got to go to Palmdale for this. It's because of those Joshua trees. So kind of ties into the whole thing of the city logo.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's see if there's anything else that I had to say about that. No, I guess that's about it. But I'm just really delighted with working with you guys. And again, economic development, they're great people to be working with.
Great. Great work. Thank you. Thank you
Thanks,
so
guys.
much.
Iman?
Hello, my name is Iman Rashley. I am a local student at the Palmdale Aerospace Academy, and I am the founder of the Palmdale Civics Voices Project. And this is a project that I founded. This is something that I founded because I've always been passionate about being a lawyer. I've always wanted to be a lawyer, do law. Government really, really interested in me. When I thought of government, I wanted to know everything. Like, it's such a complicated thing. You know, there's so much to government. Like, there's so many things that lead to other things. It's such a complex thing, you know? It's everything. It's so complex, government. And I've always been so interested to know about it all. And this itself is a youth-led project. And it's basically me interviewing local leaders that have something to say. And why I wanted to interview local leaders, I mean, I could just search it up. I can go look at the textbooks. But that was like my curiosity. I had so many certain questions that I wanted to ask that I couldn't get from reading or asking Google. I wanted to get someone's experience. You know, I wanted to ask someone that had experience, who was in the government and had something to say about how it is now. And so this is why I started this project, and I wanted to talk about it. And also, this isn't just about my curiosity about this. This goes beyond me. It's about inspiring youth across Palmdale to pay attention, to ask questions, to be curious, and to learn more about what really makes Palmdale. Like, there's so many people that have such a big and important impact on everything, on like parks and recreation. Like, there's people that plan these events. There's so many details and things that go into it that I think should have recognition, like this happens because of this person, and this person is assisted by their assistant, which helps in this way. These are important things, and I know a lot of people that are interested more than just myself, and I wanted to make this project so I can interview local leaders and get that understanding for myself and for all the youth that I also know, youth that I don't know that are interested in government. And so I had made this website, and as I interview local leaders, which I have some already, one of them actually the assistant of Parks and Recreation, and I have just learned so much, and I publish these articles based off of the interviews, and I have learned so much. I know a lot of people that have read my articles, like friends that are interested and have learned, and I wanted to spread this more, and I wanted to emphasize on this project because I think it's very important. I really do think that a lot of people would be interested in learning. I know people, I know myself, and I hope other people, other youth can be able to recognize this project and learn more about government.
Great. So I know I'm not supposed to engage with the people coming to the podium, but we have a Citizens Academy where, I don't know if you've ever done that, where we actually take you to all the different parts of the city and learn what they do. But I also want to point out that we have two amazing attorneys sitting right here. Both of them are attorneys on the council. Raise your hand, attorney.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, so
sorry.
both of them are attorneys, and they've got a plethora of information for you. If you call and ask for the chief of staff and make an appointment, I'm sure that either one of them would be glad to meet with you. So thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm just gonna say, just on a positive, to end on a positive note, this meeting has been a bit of a heavy load for us to carry, I think for all of us to carry in the city of Palmdale. But your energy, your positivity, and your passion and enthusiasm for public service and for all that we do reminds us why we do this. So thank you for you and for your passion in doing this and for inspiring other youth to get involved. I don't know where you live and which district you live in, but when you're ready to run for office, you got my endorsement.
Yes. Thank
Do you know which district you live in?
I'm not too sure,
Not
honestly.
that we're
I
all
wish I
trying to
knew.
steal you or anything, so.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next.
We have David.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Tough night, huh? I'm just here, I wanted to follow up with the city attorney. I know last time I spoke about, we're gonna reach out to City of Huntington Park to see if we can instill or steal some of their ideas. If we can implement anything that can protect or empower the local sheriffs, if ICE ever does come up, if we can force these folks to identify who they are instead of just kidnapping people randomly with no badges. So wanted to see if by any chance, I know you guys are busy, but if you guys might have a chance to reach.
I know we're not, I can briefly respond as to since that meeting there, if you watch the news, the city of Los Angeles, along with the county of Los Angeles, and a couple other cities sued the federal government for discriminatory practices in federal immigration enforcement. The California federal, or the district court, I should say, in California, the federal district court in California, agreed with the state and issued an injunction. And so, rewind, when the first request came through, I reached out to Captain Barden, I pulled the resolution, I sent it to him and said, hey, is this something we can do in Palmdale? He got back to me and said, well, he didn't reference the cases, but he said, well, LA County Council's looking at this, as well as the Sheriff's Department. Let me get back to you. He said, okay. Then this ruling occurred, and he just sent me based on the order of the court, the sheriffs have a new policy that I was able to briefly read, and in there it does put they have to, if they are notified of federal immigration enforcement, they have to identify it, so mirroring the resolution of Huntington Park. However, he was not sure on one of the other directives to local law enforcement from the Huntington Park resolution, which was, it was not only do they have to identify them, but monitoring them. And that one, he was waiting to hear back from county council on. So the goal is to bring this item back. It just, there's a lot of moving
Right.
pieces, and everything is kind of happening at once, but there has been movement and a court order that has directed to federal law enforcement to stop with the discriminatory practices. And the LA Sheriff's Department has been directed, at least internally, to identify these enforcement activities. And just keep in mind, California has kind of an interesting law where local government is prohibited from working with federal law
Right.
enforcement. So, yes, we wanted to bring this back. We knew it was super important, we being myself and Captain Barden. However, given all the moving pieces, all kind of the laws, the gray areas that we're in, he's checking with his people. I'm going to read their policy, and then we will see if either council wants to enact a resolution similar to Huntington Park, or if maybe this new court order and their revised policy kind of takes care of it and we don't have to do it. But yes, we're working on it. There's just been a lot of
No, I
different
understand.
progress
You guys have
and
been,
movement.
it's been busy last 2
And,
weeks.
and we do want, given the constraints on local law enforcement already and the position they're put in with all the different, the federal government and the state are fighting. So I would like to be sensitive, give them an opportunity to respond and actually kind of figure out systemically how they're going to deal with all these different requests, because I guaranteed this isn't the first request they've gotten.
If anything, and again, I know it's a lot of moving parts, so thank you, for taking this into consideration, but I'm hoping, kind of like the applications, if anything else, when you find that bandwidth to put something up in the web, maybe that we're looking into it, the city of Palmdale is worried about its residents. Again, this is just being proactive. I don't want to be in an active mode and then react to it. And then also, hopefully, the sheriff department will maybe make a statement as well, saying that here to protect. And again, we're not here to get away with actual federal agents. As long as they show identity and actual do warrants, not just people randomly dressed like Halloween and abducting some of us. I want to make sure that at least Palmdale residents, for the most of us, feel that we're safe. That's all I'm asking. I know when I came to you guys, we didn't have any answers, right? It was more of like questions. So I have faith in what you're doing. I just hope that we can kind of keep it in the forefront. And I know you guys are dealing with a lot. Today was it was a tough night. I feel for you guys. And you know what? And on a different note, we all make mistakes. All of us. All right? It's not who we are. We all make mistakes. I know I've made them. I just hope that as a city council people, you guys can come together and figure it out. You guys are doing, I think you guys are, every one of you have honorable intentions. And I hope we can you guys among yourselves know that some of us here are rooting for every one of you to succeed. I don't want to see any one of you guys fail. Either way, that's my 2 cents.
And just to clarify, that item will be coming back for sure. If they asked for it, it's coming back. It's just, I got to get something to say that isn't like half a report.
And we appreciate your kind words. It's nice at the end of the night, so thank you.
Shauna Hallbrook? Mark Baldonado, which I believe left. And the last one is Jason Zink. That's the last speaker card I have.
Like I say, city attorney, city manager, get this house in order. I don't know why we spend so much back and forth. Andrea, can't you email them and find out clarifications and stuff like that? You waste a lot of time with all these things. I don't know what, there's a lack of communication or something, because we can't waste time like this. Like I said, we have 6,700 homeless in Antelope Valley, 6,000 housing units we need. We have third world streets without street signs. We have 100,000 super commuters. We need a workforce development board. We need a state, federal, and county economic district for Antelope Valley. You know what? That logo could have been something special. We could have advertised to the community about it. Nobody knew about this at all. and created some real community pride and community engagement and everything. Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you? You know, maybe we don't need a new logo. Maybe we need a new city council. You guys you don't have what it takes to be a city council member. You just got to hang your hat and pass the torch. I want to see at-large elections. I want to see 4 district council members, and I want to see it on the June ballot. If you really love this community and you put it before your personal gains, you will do that. You will right the wrong of the 2 sins that this council committed and allowed to continue. We have a 140-year-old Palmdale ditch that Palmdale Water District wants to destroy. You guys haven't said anything about preserving it. They didn't even email me back. That's how disgraceful these people are. You guys don't care about that? You didn't even know about the Palmdale ditch according to the Valley Press. And you've been a council member for what, 9 years? That gave us our life and blood of our city? You have spent no money, $100 million you guys collected for Measure AV, and no money on historical preservation or conservation. You talk about the Joshua Tree, the Hollywood guy, the Joshua Tree. And you don't even want to make a preserve for it, or even go to the state. The state did a $10 billion bond measure, and you know how much money's coming to Palmdale? 0. You know how much money's coming to Lancaster? 0. Because our state representatives of you guys didn't watch the money ball to ensure that we'd get money. This is a dysfunctional family that just needs to go their own separate ways and put Palmdale people, the residents, first.
It's way past my bedtime. It's way, way past my bedtime. So things are a little different right now. We have our Mayor Pro Tem in the center chair. So what's the deal? We're halfway through the year. Our mayor has been removed. So what's the deal? How's this gonna work? You're gonna sit in the center chair for the next 6 months as the Mayor Pro Tem, and then become the mayor, which would be the rotational, if we're into that.
No, they have to skip me because I've already been mayor. You don't get to be it twice.
No, that's changed.
Oh, did we change it? I don't know.
Excuse
No,
me?
no, but the exception for hers is still codified in the code.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
I don't know.
I didn't hear what you were all discussing, so, that's the way I understood.
I'm not planning on being in the center chair very long.
Okay, I mean,
But that's hopefully.
I
Hopefully.
guess I want to know, it always seems to be of great concern who's sitting in the center chair, who's the mayor who represents the city, who goes out and about, who's the mayor pro tem, you know, who's there in case the mayor can't show up. I want to know what's going on. You've removed the mayor. Is there an operation already in place when things like that happens? There was the removal in place, the way to do that. But once it happens, is there Plan B, to pick up the slack, so to speak?
Like to reappoint?
Well, I don't know. We were in a rotational.
We were, but then when someone gets,
We were using the rotation, that's the way last I heard, the rotational every year,
I don't think that I'll be in this position till the end of the year, which would be the end of the term.
Okay.
So I honestly don't know. I have no answers for you. This is new to us too.
Okay, yeah. Because are you going to be the
I'm just holding
mayor?
down the fort temporarily.
And then you would be the mayor pro tem, because you would be next in line, the way it was set up. But it sounds like it's very, I don't know why there seems to be confusion over it. This is a policy or a procedure that you all set up. You know, when we went to the 5 districts and I drew the little number out and we started down this path. And it seems it's very confusing now, and I don't understand why it seems that way, why I don't know right away how this is going to play out. Just as a concerned citizen. So, anyway, maybe you can,
The rotational system was set aside and an ordinance change, and it's now majority of the council. That selects the next
so that
mayor.
did get scrapped, the rotational got scrapped?
Yes.
And it went to the
Majority vote.
minority?
Right, majority of the council,
Majority vote?
yes.
So there's going to be a majority vote to put a new mayor in? And then a majority vote to put a mayor pro tem? I'm sorry, my time's up. Okay, goodbye.
So, Madam Chair, it's 10:03, so if we could, I'd like to make a motion to extend the meeting beyond our 10 PM.
Yes, let's complete the meeting. Let's not put it
We're
off to
almost
another
there.
day. We're almost there.
So that's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Consensus?
We're still in non-agenda
Aye.
public comments,
Yeah,
so.
but we're extending that.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying, okay. Come on up, Kathy.
Hello, Kathy McLaren. I just wanted to go to the logo, and I guess it wasn't the chance to speak. For the last 2 years at the fair, we did indeed ask the high school media department to come up with our theme and, you know, what our saying was going to be. And we got some really good ideas. We might have had to fine tune it, but I mean, you could take what they had and just put it out there. And we even had the students come and tell us about why they did it. And then they explained to us what the fair was to them. So you would have those students come in and tell you why they did what they did on the logo, because what Palmdale means to them. Because you were also saying you wanted, you know, the logo to have meaning and everything else. So I just think something like that, even if you didn't use it, would just be something really good to let the high school students and other students have a chance to put out for that. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I agree with you. There we go. Any more speakers? One more?
Yeah, hi. My name is Adam. I don't really know you guys at all. This is like I've probably been maybe a month keeping up with what's been going on with the AV Press and stuff. Granted, this is all started because of my political science class, and because of that, I've stopped watching social media. I've been wholeheartedly just keeping up with all things federal and state and local. I want to say that I am very disturbed by the lack of transparency. I don't have any advocacy for Mr. Loa in any way. I don't know his positions on anything really. I haven't been keeping up with the city councils. I'm just worried that so many closed sessions takes away the knowledge of the Palmdale citizens, and it gives us more reason to fear when there isn't any reason to fear. There is a lot of things that I heard today here that correspond with what I believe. Like the gentleman, Jason, alluded to earlier, he has emailed and has not gotten a response. I am a member of the 3300 block of Thomas Avenue. I am you're my representative, Ms. Betancourt. I emailed you about a week ago about this case, and I still haven't heard a response. I don't want to put any blame. I understand you have a busy work week. Like I alluded to earlier, I would like more transparency in the city of Palmdale. AV Press came out with the issue a week ago where Councilman Eric Olson was quoted saying that this city council had a legal and ethical duty to act transparently. I want to say I don't believe that. And I don't mean to offend. What I mean to say is that to the public eye, this is very concerning, and it brings up a lot of unnecessary feelings, especially in such hard times that we're living in right now. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Monica Dobson. I have never spoke this much at any meeting. So first and foremost, I want to say that everybody in here that has spoken tonight, whether they've been running for a board position, a commissioning, they talk about being fiscally responsible. I want you guys to go home tonight and I want you to think about whether or not the decision that you have made now 2 times, 2 board meetings in a row, is it going to be fiscally responsible to the citizens of Palmdale? 1. 2, how many times have you driven down a street and seen an expired tag? How many times have you seen a car sitting on a curb with an expired tag? And you are telling me that there's nothing behind an investigation into a car sitting on a street, whether it happened or not. Why are we going to be spending money on that one specific car? Why are we not saying, you know what? If we're going to do it for this one, we're going to do it for every single car that is breaking the law. If what's good for the goose is good for the gander, that's what I've always been told. Okay, so go home, think about it. You guys can reverse your decisions if you need to. You guys can come back as a city council and say, you know what? At the end of the day, are we being fiscally responsible, taking this to an investigation into a possible court? That is what I'm asking you guys to do tonight, is go home and look down deep into your souls if you say, is it fiscally responsible to the citizens of Palmdale to continue this path? Thank you.
Any other speakers? Okay, I'm going to close public comments, and I would like to address the city attorney for a moment. Either we were unclear in your closeout from closed session, or people weren't listening, because it's not about the tag. So could you just kind of refresh what you said so people understand?
Oh,
I hate to make you go through this again, but it's clear that we weren't clear.
Well, and what we could do alternatively, I have a copy of the statement. I mean, if that is something that would like to be released. But I do agree, I heard a lot of comments that sounded
They all think it's about a expired tag.
So maybe if you could just go over the portion that discusses I think it's 4 highlighted additional allegations that will be investigated.
Oh, okay. So, do you want me to read it again? The whole thing?
Or should we just make
Allegations.
copies and make sure people have it in their hand, because some
Can
people.
you just please state the additional allegations?
I think we should make copies.
We
or-
will
or
make
publish
copies.
it. Where's the what? I don't have one.
I think that
What are
if
you
people have questions and it was unclear, we can give them copies of this and they can rewatch the meeting. I don't really think it's fair to redo the statement, and I don't want to say portions of it. It's kind of messy. And I
Okay.
don't really want to read the whole thing again because it's 10 o'clock and.
So are we allowed to post it on the website? Are we allowed to
Yeah,
distribute
I
it in
would
a hard
say-
copy?
yeah,
'Cause
or
it's
you-
clear that people didn't understand when we.
I would
it's clear
say
they
you
didn't get
can
it.
make this available pursuant to a Public Records Act request. I will give a copy of it to the city clerk. If people would like it, they can have a copy. I think that.
Or they
and
can just watch the.
Or they
city
can watch the
council meeting
playback.
again.
But I think reading it in different portions is confusing. And it was already said, and it's right here, we can give it to people. And then they can educate themselves. But I do agree, I'm not, maybe I talk too fast, but I'm not sure if the facts sunk in to who was here. But, there's a lot going on, and maybe I didn't talk loud enough or something, but. There's no due process right to the title of mayor. It is not a statutory right that confers upon an individual life, liberty, or property. So there's no right to due process or notice or right to be heard in regards to the removal of the title of mayor. And as we've kind of gone over, any investigation into improper conduct, there is a conflict of interest there. And in protection for the city, as well as Councilmember Loa, I'm going to suggest that he recuse himself because it's illegal to be present in a place where you have a conflict of interest. And so,
Well,
How he's been invited in.
we're going off task.
no, I would say we make
Public
this,
comments has been closed.
yes, if
I just wanted to say what I said because to me, it was clear that people didn't understand.
and I agree with you, and so in light of that,
And
this
I
can
don't
be
think we-
available.
I just want to say that I don't think we would have even done that, but it was my understanding that Mr. Loa wanted it out there, what was happening.
Correct, and,
Otherwise, because we didn't purposely put it out there because we were trying to protect.
Why protect them?
Because it's an allegation and not a fact.
Was the allegation investigated?
We're
We're in the
trying to do an
progress.
investigation.
You want to investigate the guys who are
Oh my God.
So the statement was read into, the record.
yeah.
Somebody can transcribe it, or we can just make it readily available without the necessity of having to file a public records request. We can,
It's
can we just
here.
make copies of it? I mean, make it very simple.
Yeah.
People just wanna, they're not gonna go back and listen to 5 hours of a meeting.
Or I can read it again, but I don't think chopping it up into pieces is appropriate.
And I don't think it's fair to Mr. Loa. We've already said what
Right,
we've said,
exactly.
and now we need to proceed with the investigation.
So,
Correct.
but
And-
the statement itself was read into the record, so it can either be transcribed and printed, or we could just make it one step easier and provide the public with copies of the statement which was read into the record. There's nothing different in what is printed there than what was stated for the record.
You attach it to the agenda as an attachment.
Madam Chair, members of the City Council, public comment has been closed. I recommend we continue with the agenda.
Okay, moving on to item number 15, council reports, announcements, and requests for future agenda items. We will start with you, Mr. Bishop.
Nothing to report.
Mr. Olson.
I'm gonna let everybody go home and get some sleep.
Ms. Alarcon.
Now, do I get to?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh, yeah,
real
no,
quick.
I'm just
real
kind of
quick.
working my way in.
Sorry, I do want
Oh,
to say
you mean to
something.
the other,
No.
Ms. Dobson,
No,
I apologize
I'll
for
have-
my
I'll have-
confusion earlier. That's what I wanted to say.
I'll have commentary at another time.
okay.
My turn? Thank you. In light of the previous discussion under items 5.1 and 7.1, as a request for a future agenda item, I'd like to move that we garner city council consensus to add to a future agenda the appointment of temporary appointments to fill the vacancies of the positions that Councilmember Richard Loa was previously sitting on and is no longer serving in the capacity as a city representative. We need to continue to do our city business, and we can't when we've got vacancies. I'm also requesting that we bring back the question of whether or not we appoint, to Marcia's question or concern, whether or not we appoint a ceremonial mayor during the pendency of the investigation. So, one, to appoint to fill the vacancies that are left by virtue of the removal of Mr. Loa from those council committees and commissions, and whether or not we are going to appoint for the ceremonial title of mayor and mayor pro tem.
And I want to be clear, Councilmember Loa, you can vote on this. It's a political issue. It's not a conflict. There's no financial interest or any other conflict here, so you are free to vote on.
And as just to follow up, as I understand it, all of the agencies several of the agencies that you previously served on are asking for clarification from this council as to who has authority, because you've shown up to meetings and they're not sure if they should allow you to vote. And so we need clarity, and so I just ask that we bring this back as a future agenda item so that we can formally appoint a temporary position to fill that seat during the pendency of the investigation.
Well, I don't pose a risk to the public. I don't drive under the influence of alcohol. I don't do anything that's injurious or damaging or risky to the public. And I'll have further commentary to make. But in terms of a financial impact, there is some financial impact. It's not very large, but there is some, because some of the boards do pay a stipend. So, in event.
So do we have to do a vote on what Andrea said?
Right, so I
No,
think, I think in the
I'm not
past.
gonna- I'm not going to vote one way or another on that.
And I
particular
think 3 meetings ago, we sort of came to consensus that the new policy moving forward, because historically, adding things to the agenda was always sort of a crapshoot as to when or how it were to be added onto an agenda. I think our city attorney has now recommended a policy moving forward that if we want, as council members, something to be added to a future agenda, that we introduce it at this agenda item, and that we garner consensus. There's a motion, there's a second, we garner consensus so that it is then rightfully brought back. That's all I'm trying to do, is to
So
get
she-
something
so
properly
we do have to make
agendized
a
on the
motion,
next
not
one.
just an agreement.
Correct. It's a motion to add it to the future agenda item. And I kind of heard two, though. Are we doing both at the same time, or is there one, or is there two? I heard
So
one.
consideration of them both,
Okay.
just one full discussion about all of the vacancies, including the vacancy of the position, the ceremonial position of mayor, and the vacancy of all of the commissions and committees that Mr. Lowe was serving on.
I'll make a second on that.
Thank you.
We do need clarification. We need to know what's going on. Can we call for the vote?
Voice vote, please.
Aye?
Aye.
Not voting.
Okay.
Councilmember Oliphant?
Yes.
4 yes, 1 no.
Okay. Okay, so we're still on item number 15, council reports, announcements, and requests for future items. Mr. Lowe, do you have anything?
I'm fine, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, so I would like to ask the city attorney or city manager, I would like to get an update on Chimboli. I don't know if you have one tonight. You don't have to do it tonight, it's late, let's do it another time, but maybe next meeting you can give us an update.
Well, I could, Madam Chair, I could let you know that we have Chimboli scheduled for the second meeting in August. The design team will come in and give a formal
okay.
presentation.
Very nice. And I would like for you guys to give us some input on how we could go back to a directed elected mayor. How can we do that? When can we do that?
Well,
I've
you-
asked for this several
Yeah,
times.
I mean, you can enact an ordinance that provides for it. That's at the pleasure of the council. It's your decision.
So we would have to vote.
I'm sorry, what I've asked for previously, sorry
No,
to
that's
jump
okay,
in
go
on
ahead.
this.
That's okay.
Is I wanted the legal analysis to the path, if there is a path. Because what I've been looking at, election code and our charter clearly gave the previous council the room to go to all districts. But the CVRA and election code doesn't allow the path to go back to a mayor because it's a fundamental change to the charter, so it would have to be approved by the voter to do that. And if that's the case, why wouldn't we just put it in front of the voter right off the top to let them
Which is
decide?
what I asked for weeks
But
ago.
I want to, a couple weeks ago, I didn't support the conversation because there was convolution about a directly elected vice mayor and 7 seats, and it was confusing. I think if we do this, we do it right. Let's get the legal analysis so we know exactly what the path is or what it's not. Because I've talked to 8 different attorneys about this, and I've heard 7 different answers. We need to clearly know what it is. When we know, we can make the appropriate decision then. So what I've asked for and what I would like to continue to ask for is the legal analysis first.
I'll support that.
Okay. So we have to do a voice.
That was already voted on a long time.
Well, let's make sure it happens this
The
time.
legal
Let's
analysis
make
was
sure it happens
voted
this
on
time.
and it.
All right.
And it just
but it just
disappeared.
Aye.
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 Yes.
Okay. So
This is my 3rd time asking for that. That is correct.
It is a monumental task, so it's not going to come back in 2 weeks, I can tell you
Okay.
that.
So I'm going to go ahead and adjourn this meeting until August 5th at 5 PM here at City Hall. Thank you all for coming.